Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to MIRRORMOURN. Glad to be back. It's been a little while, and I'm excited for this session. As always, I'm your Game Master, Esper. We've got our regular crew of these four fine fellows. Would you guys introduce your characters, and we'll jump in.
Hello, I'm Warsor, and I play Walykos, the half-elf swarm ranger, level 6.
Vince, and I am playing the Magus Vapor, the wild magic sorcerer.
I am Nick. I am playing Adriel Mantivelle, the level 6 swashbuckling human rogue.
And I'm Adam, and I'm playing Aygir gor-Temu, who is in Armor Artificer. We're all level 6.
The plot has been thickening and thickening in this campaign. Your characters are presently in the city of Barnacle, which has been the focal point of the majority of the campaign. There is a brewing plot that has a couple levels to it. You all are aware that the bottom of it all is a giant lord who seems to be some kind of fire giant, dark mage mastermind who has been plotting for years to reclaim this nation that's called Haven Isle. The elves named it that. Its original giant name was Eaberg. But not a lot of people are aware of that. You all have uncovered some secrets and some dark details, and Walykos even was an apprentice for a time under this giant lord. You have learned some things about this other larger realm, like a larger continent called Grootvaters, which is like the main giant homeland. And you've alerted also some of the authorities and like the Duke of Barnacle as to these clandestine plottings that are happening. At a more visible social level, there's been a lot of unrest in the city of Barnacle throughout this entire campaign. And tensions have been rising between essentially the two sides. It's a little more nuanced than that, but the basics of it is House Drakestone and all that are loyal to them, all the noble houses, and as well most of the people of this massive converted giant castle that's called Strong Castle, all the people that dwell in the apartments and suites and tenements there. That is essentially one side. Then the other side is a group known as the Merocrats. They're led by Porcelina, the self-styled Sea Queen, and her various kind of port officials, and they have a large commons wing as well as like the shackle down slum area. So they have a lot of ties to the real salt of the earth, the common folk and poorer classes, though they do have their own nobility too. Both side has knights and other actors of competence and prowess. You all were recently dubbed a higher rank in Barnacle by the Duke. Walykos and Adriel were knighted, knight-errants, and Aygir and Vapor were made magi of the city. So yeah, there's a lot brewing. That's as much as I want to go into the overarching main campaign thread. Specific to our last session, a couple things come to mind. One, you all met with Corgain Makel, who has been an ally and informant, and he's kind of a long-time ally to Walykos. He helped Walykos escape the Giant Lord's lair, Baal Vonder's lair. And he went to this coastal cave called Quariok that you all had gone to when you were lower level, and you did this job for cash and prizes, essentially to help some smugglers bring in something. And then Corgain, unaware of this, investigated that cave recently and found out they had set up a kind of alchemical
something.
lab. Yeah, they'd smuggled in some kind of component and mixed it with some kind of brimstone type material that's deposited naturally in that cave, and they made something called crackle powder, which is a somewhat volatile, explosive. It doesn't exactly get you super worried. It is explosive, but it's not anything worse than like an alchemist's fire or maybe a burning hands kind of spell. It's an advanced formula, and it is dangerous, and it can be weaponized, but it doesn't exactly make you freak out learning about it.
Yeah, weren't we under the impression that normally it's like a firework, essentially?
It can be used for like a firework display. Yeah, it can be used as like to make like a flashbang type thing. It can be used for like an alchemist fire. It's that level of kind of lesser alchemical stuff that even
the real thing
journeyman alchemists can make readily.
The real thing is, why would they be smuggling it? And they're smuggling it on behalf of Baal Vondor.
Seems to be connected. Yeah.
Yeah.
The smugglers, they kind of came in aboard this fire galleon from a different continent called Drizmteeg, which that's kind of farther away and a bit more exotic. And they kind of secretly broke off and went down to that cave. And as best Corgan could tell, they did not leave that cave on foot. They left it again by sea. Yep. You've also discovered that one of the port officials by the name of Markin Akzivi, who Adriel and Walykos had a run-in with, he had been aiding in, maybe paid off, in helping smugglers in Barnacle, including that same very fire galleon. And House Drakestone arrested him. He's aligned with the Merocrats. The Merocrats control the port, essentially. They arrested him, they jailed him, and they were trying to interrogate him. He wasn't giving any useful information, and then overnight he perished, and he was found dead the next day with like a tooth removed. It was a hollowed porcelain type tooth, and he seemed to have been poisoned. Yeah. And it looks like he poisoned himself with this kind of like assassin's tooth. And that got let out, and so there is rioting in the streets, and there's been social unrest for a while.
Yeah, we went to Nick, Adriel's father, or not father, his grandfather.
Yes,
and we asked him if he could possibly help us by doing a speak with dead ritual. On the body, because we think he was directly working for Baal Vondor. This was all part of the plan to cause riots, is what we think. Right. So we took all this information.
All the different things that have happened, the different investigations you've done, and the confrontation of like that Night Stalker killer. A lot of things seem to tie back to Baal Vondor in fomenting infighting between the people of Barnacle to create a state of chaos and tension and a volatile state. Yeah.
Which then at minimum, obviously he stands to benefit from destabilizing the place, just because, I assume his ultimate motive is recapturing it from the elves.
Well, we know there's more to his plans. Yeah. Because one, he didn't plan for us to kill the Night Stalker. And two, he smuggled in the stuff, whatever it's going to be used for. He could be trying to blow up something. He could be trying to set off some sort of catastrophic event that would kill all the elves or something like that. Who knows?
Or even just make it look like, somebody is trying to blow up somebody else and thus frame them as a dissident.
Yeah, being the vanguard that we are, we want to find out what's actually going on rather than guess. So we took this to the I don't know if it was the steward, but we took it to the Duke, and he's aware now of what's going on. He approved our plan to speak with dead, with the body, and that's where we left off. Pretty much.
We're going to be opening with that scene with the speak with dead. Let's see if there's any other pertinent details that we should refresh on. Corgain Makel at that coastal cave, he found a few different things. He found these brown flakes, which you all seem to identify that it's just dried slime from dead ochre jellies. The rocks you all determine is a kind of ochre brimstone. There's a vial that had just a little bit of a residue left in it, and you determined that was crackle powder. They'd successfully made it. And there was these like little shards, like little pieces of burnt metal, like sharp little fragments of burnt metal that you weren't quite sure what's going on with those. I think someone mentioned going to Spindle and having him analyze the metal fragments.
I thought that they had dropped those off at Spindle, and we were waiting to hear back. But maybe I'm.
It's just something we haven't gotten to yet, so we'll get to that. So there's some other things we could cover. Adriel had a secret meeting where he spoke to Belvander via like a magical thing. Yeah,
like
but
2 months.
Yeah. Okay, so that I think this is good to get us going here. So I presume you all want to be present for the Speak with Dead.
Absolutely.
Okay, the 4 of you are gathered. You are at the jail that is basically an annex of Long Keep. This is the high seat of Barnacle, where the Duke lives and other high-ranking nobles and knights. And so you are in you're not actually at his cell. His corpse was taken out of his cell and brought to a kind of, embalmer's chamber. So imagine a room where you've got a table, the corpse of Markanaxivi, which is like a pudgy middle-aged elf man, and he's been, stripped down so that they looked for items on him and anything they could find. All they found was the assassin's tooth, the hollow tooth.
Giant tattoo that says "I heart Bale Vondor."
Nothing of the sort, alas. There are some different like embalming instruments and body preparation instruments here, and some kind of medical type supplies, healer's kit, you could say. As well, there are some different individuals. There is Lord Duncan Mantevale, Master of Rituals, Lord of the Storm Tower, grandfather of Adriel. There is Crispin Hollows, who also stays there. He's the Tower Wizard of Adriel's family, extended family. There is Crane Wellington, Seneschal of the Duke. There are a few other guards nearby, just in case anything was to happen, including the guard captain, who is Sorcerer Flay. And he's, as usual, suited up in his armor and regalia, and, he's a pretty adamant and stern fellow dour. So, Adriel, your grandfather says to you, "I have prepared the divination. It is the necromantic one. But do not fret, for the corpse is not going to be utilized for any nefarious purpose. It will not be zombified. No, it will merely be just some minutes of animation in which the body will be able to give to us information that might aid in unraveling the circumstances surrounding the death of Markanaxivi."
Yes, of course. I believe that we are ready whenever you are, grandfather.
He sets out a
Well,
a censer with like a burning coal in it.
Before you begin, my understanding is this is a very limited ritual. Is that correct? Like in terms of duration.
We will have some minutes. Yes.
Should we not prepare our questions beforehand? That way we don't waste what little time we have.
We will be able to ask 5 questions. 5 shall be the count. The answers...
Do we have as much time as we need?
The answers may not be as clear as we might like, so I would suggest you all that we leave one or two of the answers
to clarify.
Blank.
Yeah.
We might want to ask a clarification.
That being said, I think we should at least have the questions laid out before you cast the spell, no?
Oh, I was under the presumption that the question would be, how did you die? Who are you working for? Please,
I think
Tell me.
that might waste our questions. We already assume that he's working for Baal Vondor. That would waste a question if we could just jump to the question that would both confirm that he's working for Baal Vondor and what he was doing with what he was smuggling. You know,
My associate here speaks right. We cannot just ask him basic, how
we
do
specific.
you do? There's no small talk to be made with a reanimated corpse.
Thank you. See, he gets it. That being said, this should only take a moment. I do not wish to overly tax your time. I just wish to broach the questions among us first, and that way we can confirm that we all agree to the questions.
Oh, well then, by all means. I didn't mean to get ahead of ourselves.
It's all right. We appreciate you taking the time to cast this magic for us, Duncan.
There is another point I should mention, says Crispin Hollows, the wizard who assists the Master of Rituals. Markanoxivi, his corpse at least, it will be able to recognize those that it knew in life. And if it identifies anyone here as a foe or a rival, it could lie to us or speak misleading answers.
Now, I know not the full extent of the details, but maybe it should not be you or Adriel that physically asked the questions.
Well, what if we were... How does it identify us? Does it see what stands before it? Because
Yes.
if everyone left the room, what if we could somehow fool
You could stand. It's not going to be moving about. It will only be a sort of animus that runs through it for a time. No true soul is returning to the body.
I understand. Is there any way that you know of to fool the corpse, like a disguise or even magical disguise that could make it think that we're allied with it? My thought being, it only knows what it knew in life.
I can disguise myself with an illusion, yes? I could don a glamour.
Yes. I could tell you one of the names, and I could perhaps we could show you the image of one of the ones we fought on. What was the isle that we fought them on? Black Rock.
Black Rock.
Isle.
Black Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wouldn't necessarily know that they're dead because of the timing of all these events.
Well, so actually, that was something I was thinking about. Would he know the Night Stalker is dead, or was that?
I think that's common knowledge in the city.
Okay.
Yes, that's
At
been
this
like
point.
celebrated in the city.
But
Yeah,
like
before
only
he
name I-
died, unfortunately.
the only name I remember is Entatark, the half giant. But
Oh,
one of
I knew
those-
all of them. Yeah, Walykos
Yeah.
could tell you. The Crab Knight, the freaking I don't recall off the top of my head. It's been
Red
months,
Lady.
Sorry. Yeah, Esper would tell me. But yeah, can I work out a little quick plan between you and me, Esper, to try and give him disguise, and I can kind of coach him. And I'm willing to make a check. I just don't know out of gate what I would do.
Okay, so you are of a mind to describe to Crispin Hollows the appearance of one of these thralls of Baal, and
Ideally,
he's going
one
to
of the
don it with his
leaders.
disguise self.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe the woman. She seemed kind of like the thinker of the group. So I'll describe her.
Okay.
The corpse isn't going to be questioning her, which is the important thing. It just needs to identify her to know that it's willing to answer her questions, ideally.
Sure. Well, let's see how good your
How well I
description
can
is.
describe.
Yeah. Why don't you do a
Let me
intelligence
think.
check?
Intelligence check? Okay. Intelligence is not my strong suit. Let me just think if I can make a case for anything else. What about insight, in the sense that I study, I kind of can describe what's important to people, trying to, understand their motivations.
Mm-hmm. You could certainly do both of them. I think intelligence
I'll
is
do
necessary for like recollecting
Okay.
details,
Sure.
and putting it into well-articulated words.
This will be my intelligence. This will be
And then
my
insight would be more
insight.
like, this was the feeling I got from her and her motivations.
So I got a 10 on the intelligence and a 19 on the insight.
Okay. So you give him the description as best you can, and he says, "Oh, well, I will do as best I can with that. I'll see what I can do." Disguise self actually stays on for a while. Let me see if he can
Yeah, it's either
cast
10
it, and
minutes
if he can alter it.
concentration. Yeah.
It's 1 hour. It's not concentration, in fact.
Well, that's great. Because
Yeah,
neither
it's-
speak with that.
Yeah, it's a pretty damn cool spell.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see if he can alter it once he puts it on himself. Okay, no, you can't. It's just a first level spell. So I guess he
And
could he could cast it again if it comes out not looking right. So
what's interesting is Speak with Dead even doesn't say that it magically knows, just if it recognizes you as an enemy,
yeah,
then it's under no compulsion.
yep,
So fooling it is totally a thing.
yep. So Crispin Hollows casts his disguised self and changes to the red Lady.
Perfect. Let's give you the
It's
question.
it's your memory is a little hazy. She was kind of in the distance. It's a basic.
He can
It's
take
a
some
basic-
liberties.
Yeah, it's a basic. It's not a 1-to-1. It's a very basic. Like the main ideas are there.
And there's no guarantee that they even knew each other. The thing is going to be mostly his bluffing, and if it seems like she could have worked for Baal Vondor, which I will, give him that insight into what Baal Vondor's servants would, know, at least from what I knew. Maybe that will let him identify with her. Like they might have something that they always say. I don't know, like Baal Vondor, may he live forever or something. I don't know.
So this red woman now, who's looking at you, speaks. Now we should work on the voice. He does, a quick gesture with his hands, and you hear just an illusory voice, appear in the room. How about this? Does this sound like what she sounded like?
It'll be close enough to fool a dead body, most likely.
I was going
think
to say,
that'll-
did we hear her talk?
Maybe once or twice, but
not
I mean,
much,
no.
did I know her,
Walykos.
Esper?
He might know.
Yeah.
You did not know her intimately, but you were familiar. You were acquainted with her.
Could I describe her voice as that?
The voice that he just gave was a very
different.
generic, stereotypical voice that one might associate with this kind of sorceress femme fatale. She really didn't sound like that at all.
Are you willing to take some direction? Because I can.
All right, so I'll kind of riff off of your 19 insight check. I think that's pretty good. And so I've just rolled a performance check for him, and he makes some adjustments. It's like a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Well, I can try to do my best, but we'll see. No. I can try to do my best, but we'll see. I can try to do my best, but we'll see.
And so you kind of no, wait, back to that one. And it's...
My favorite part of this is I get Esper to do voices of all his female voices.
Yep.
Horseradish, horseradish, horseradish.
No, back to the other one.
Horseradish.
Well, I preferred my first attempt best of all, but I will go by your guidance then.
You are doing fantastic, Duncan. Really appreciate it.
It's Crispin Hallows doing it.
Oh, Crispin, you're doing
Yeah. He's got a lot of wizardly repertoire.
Mm-hmm.
Duncan he would be kind of closer to a cleric, maybe a cleric wizard sort of hybrid thing. So Duncan says, I've been thinking as to this more kill two birds with one stone sort of question that you alluded to.
Yeah. Got something?
Was Bale Vonder paying you directly, or did he work through an agent?
Seems a valid question, at least. Because then if there's an agent, we could follow up with the how do we contact, how do we find the agent, or what is their name or anything like that. I'm not certain which would be the most helpful. Maybe a name, and then we can do our own investigations to track them down.
Being as that we will have some minutes, we don't have to ask the questions in rapid succession. We can convene after each question. If you all would wait in the corridor, and Crispin, you will be asking the questions, so we will be listening in, and you'll come back to us after each question.
Can I just propose one more question?
By all means.
This seems rather important to what our goal is here. What happened to the goods which were smuggled that he helped smuggle into the city? If we can find those and who he smuggled them to, that's gonna give us leads that we can follow even when the magic is faded. We need direct things that we can act upon, and that sounds like a good way to get something that we could act upon. Does that make sense?
I believe that is wise.
I'll let you phrase it perfectly in your own eyes, but the essence of the question should be who received the smuggled goods, or where did they end up going? And that's keep it simple without overcomplicating. I think that'll do it.
I don't think we should use more than one question on that, but yes, however you're going to put it.
I agree. I think this is one question, and then unless he elaborates so much that we have more questions that we could then expound upon, that'll give us a lead. And then the other question that you asked will give us more leads for more questions.
And then come to us, and we will figure out together what those are.
Yeah. Because either who paid him is going to be linked, or who he gave the goods to is going to be linked. One of those two, they're both going to get us things that we can act on.
Oh, there are two details that I forgot to mention to you all. It might be something that you care about, but maybe not. But this is information that you were given by, the embalmer who, worked with the body. He noticed that Markanoxivi was suffering from gout, and you can all see it there, at his feet are in really bad condition. And he also detected, shortly after he was brought in, there was a faint alcohol smell on him, which is rare. It's not typical that elves drink. That's associated with dwarves. Yeah. Elves have a variety of smokes that they enjoy. That's what's common in Haven Isle.
No, he was in prison too.
Yeah.
Right? Or is this?
Yeah. When he was brought in to the jail holding cell, there was like this smell, and the embalmer said that he suspected he had drank dwarven strong wine, like a really potent kind of spirit.
I was gonna say he said faint alcohol smell, as opposed to like
on the breath, yeah.
Okay, as opposed to beer would be kind of like a little bit yeasty, or wine might be kind of sour and fruity, but he just said faint alcohol.
Let's
which
not
out of character could imply like some sort of a chemical substance or something. Yeah.
We're not Sherlock Holmes. We just know it's alcohol of some sort. But that's
seemed that he had drank strong spirits.
Yeah, well, that's important because that's uncommon. That means we could figure out where he was before he was brought in. Maybe he was at a ale, or a spirit, drinking facility.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, let's go ahead. And,
my charcoal is about ready to run out. If we can, let us commence.
Yeah, do it.
All right. I am going to time this myself to give us 10 minutes. I'll pause it if we do out of character talk where you're like, my character goes and walks over there, but I do want to keep this.
This is why we ask the questions.
I do want to keep this. Yeah, I do want to keep this fairly realistic. Okay, so Duncan Mantevale, master of rituals, puts some like hardened incense gum onto the charcoal disc, and like lowers the censer and wafts the incense smoke over the corpse of Markanok Sivi. The actual spell casting is fast. He just utters this quick string of syllables, does this gesture, and like taps the corpse right on the chest. You all are waiting on the other side of the door in a corridor. Everyone is really. It's only going to be Crispin Hollows in the guise of the Red Sorceress that's going to be remaining in the room. And at the completion of the spell, the corpse's eyelids flutter, and the eyeballs open, and the mouth begins to move. Whoops. Let me turn on my stopwatch here. Okay.
Markin,
says Crispin Hollows in the guise of the Red Sorceress.
It is I. You have been slain by the enemy. I need some information so that I can continue to advance our quest. Please, we don't have much time. Did Bail Vander himself task you with this? With the smuggling? With all of these deeds? Or was there an intermediary who was helping you?
Zelex, you know.
A wise choice for Bail Vander.
What's wrong with your voice? You have a cold?
There's something going around.
And bear in mind, Crispin Hollows is like, he's like casting minor illusions and like he's like miming it. That's why I rolled a performance check. It's not a great performance check, but it's not terrible. So she, kind of sachets out of the room to the corridor.
Okay, so he said Zelex, and that I should know. She, the sorceress, should know him.
That's fine. Just we need to keep going. We'll confer at the end. We have a name.
Okay.
Yep.
Markin, I need to know where you hid the shipment. Where is it being stored? I can't proceed if I can't get to it.
Zelex. Talk to Zelex, damn it.
Perfect.
Of
Where
course.
is Alex?
Of course.
So she goes back into the room.
Where is he now? I've been looking for him.
Woof. Hideout.
Are you referring to the wolf hideout by the...
They never let me in there, you know. Past the dock somewhere.
Past the dock somewhere. Crispin Hallows, utilizing disguise self, he comes back to you. Duncan Manteville says, we still have some minutes.
Yeah.
We have
two remaining questions, I think.
two remaining questions.
Yeah.
There's still more than half the time left on the spell.
All right, guys, what do you think?
We should know how much they brought in.
Would he? Yeah, he would be reasonably know that. So we could get an estimate of how large the shipment was.
That could give us an idea what there could be pawning.
But I mean, we'll also find the shipment ideally when we go find this hideout.
But if it's not there, we need to know.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we could question Zelax is the big thing, and he,
Could do to know exactly who it was that brought it, and who his.
Well, we know who
point
brought it. It
contact.
was the smugglers that we dealt with.
We don't know who they are.
Well, I mean, does it matter?
I don't know if it matters.
Real
too
quick,
much.
I'm pausing the
Well,
timer here. This is kind of a meta thing. Walykos, you know this name, Zelex.
I didn't want to stop the timer.
Yeah,
I thought
that's
I did,
okay.
but go on.
Yeah, I'm pausing it here because this is something Walykos already knows. The spelling of that is Xellex, Zelex. You have a recollection of Zelex. He was, when you were an apprentice or a young a budding neophyte at Balevonder's lair, he was already of some rank, sergeant like. You never saw his actual face. He wore a masked helm, kind of like a severely spiked masked helm. Not a copy of Balevonder's helmet, but kind of styling himself in that same direction.
Helmet. Sounds like a man of culture.
He also would usually wear like thick, long clothing. So he's got to be like an elf or a human or something of that shape. He's not a dwarf. He's not a halfling.
I mean, could be a bugbear or a hobgoblin. Rather,
seems too small for a bugbear. Yeah, hobgoblin. It would be on the smaller end of a hobgoblin. Okay. Yeah.
Well,
he seemed kind of tall and lank. Not tall, average height and kind of lanky or slender.
I gotcha. Well, there's always magics and things which can disguise you, so I'm going to make no assumptions from what you told me. But
he would wear heavy boots, like plated heavy boots. He had like these loud foot. You could you remember his footsteps whenever he'd walk down the corridors. They'd like echo and clank.
If he's involved, it's serious. Like, this is not just a minor part of the plan. This is a trusted lieutenant to get things done.
And so a higher level operative.
Resume the timer here.
All right, resuming the timer. Yeah, so I know Zelex. I'll tell you everything after we've finished questioning him. But
we should ask him if Zelex, you said, whatever. If he is alone, or if there are more, or how many more are with him. We need to know the extent of this operation. If there has to be a higher level operative, then surely he must not be alone.
So we have to understand this guy only knows what he knew in life. He may only have certain information. We should ask him things he's likely to know to get the best results. What was he tasked with? He was tasked with the smuggling. He knew the smugglers. He knew the port. We should ask if any of the other merocrats are in and working on this. Did he have any collaborators? Actually, collaborators within the city. People who would trust him, because it could be in the Duke's court, someone working with him,
or
or in the prison.
Both.
Yeah, it could be someone in the prison who helped him kill himself. Whatever. Like let's ask that question. We still have 2 questions. Yeah.
Yes, and maybe maybe it could be worthwhile that we ask him about his actual death. I mean,
yes.
One killing themselves is a very extreme measure.
I think we should save that for the last question because
Yeah.
we don't know how self-aware he is right now.
Right. We don't know if he knows how he died.
I mean, he does know that he's dead because you told him, kind of. I don't want to get him to shut down. I think that should be the last question.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Because he might be confused. He might be, like not thinking clearly. He's just answering your questions rather than overthinking them. If that makes sense.
Yes, it is highly likely that that is the case. Well, Crispin?
2 questions. We
Yes,
still can ask both.
We should not dally. So we should first see who else is involved with this here in Barnacle.
Does he have any collaborators in the Marrow
so be it.
or in the city?
Crispin Hallows goes back to the corpse.
I need
To confirm who all is in on this, as I'll be having to make contact with them here. Who else in Barnacle is involved? Who else were you allied with?
Jib. Wormbait. Klein. I always suspected those were pseudonyms.
Crispin Hallows comes back. Jib, Wormbait, Klein. He thinks that those are nicknames.
Yeah.
Cover
they're
names.
They're most likely that, yeah.
That's still more than we had. So that's
I
good.
mean, like,
and
if
know
we
that
have
there's...
pseudonyms, it's possible to find the pseudonyms and find people.
Right.
I wish we had 2 more questions, but I think we should ask about his death. Because that could potentially...
Yeah, like how he
give us-
died and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, that could give us a
Or
lot
what- or
of
what.
info. Yeah.
What pushed him to die, yeah.
It could be part of the plan to incite the riots. And if we have that, even if we can't prove it to every single person in the city, the Duke knows that he can, trust, this wasn't, basically we just need to be able to prove it to the people that we, are getting to back this.
Agreed. Crispin, you should make haste. The spell is about to run out.
Go.
Crispin goes back in. Markin, were you able to do yourself in? What conviction? Or did one of the others help you?
In here, I had to do it myself. When I first began with Zelex, he told me, "Never betray me. No, if you ever betray me, my revenge is terrible and vast. My allies and I have brought down entire families. When I was in the cell after they arrested me, that Seneschal said he was going to call for the Master of Rituals, put a truth spell onto me, and Rigby Brackenbluff was going to beat the truth out of me. Zelex sent to me. I heard his voice in my mind. He threatened to torture and kill my family if I ratted to Drakestone. I pulled out the tooth, ended my miserable...
And the corpse just kind of like flops over right there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Basically, he didn't want to, like, deal with his family or his friends
Well, his family's been threatened, so there's so many like things. We gain so much knowledge from that.
We
just
did,
have
yeah.
to kind of put it together now.
We definitely need to
That
probably
was
find
fruitful.
the-
That was
Yes.
indeed fruitful.
This cannot leave this room, though. We need to keep a tight lid on who knows this, because if Zelix knows that we know, he'll attack. Possibly, he could go after you, Duncan. He could go after the family, your family members. He could go after any of us.
It's very possible too that these pseudonyms, these names that they gave us, could be already in here in Barnacle.
I doubt it.
Source's Flay just like looks from one person to the next with like those suspicious eyes.
So just
No. I think all of us are safe.
out of character
Yes,
as a thing. So
Adriel is not part of this at all.
it's the 4 of us, Sorcerer's Flay and Duncan Mantvale.
And Crispin
Okay.
Hollows.
And Crispin Hollows. Okay, so
And
7
and Seneschal Crane Wellings.
Which one was
Is that just,
Yeah.
Which
this
one
is
was
a
that
big
again?
Number.
The Duke's Seneschal.
8
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like the Duke's main person that goes out and
So
administrates.
so it's us four, my grandfather, Crispin Hallows, and then the other Duke, right?
And Source's Flay.
the
who's
Source's Flay, the guard captain, and
Oh,
Crane
and
Wellings, the Seneschal to the Duke.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not too difficult. We have a small enough number because we can
Yeah.
ignore ourselves for that number.
Yeah.
I
It's-
mean, not to speak for anybody else, but would it not be wise if none of the 4 of you, wise or possible, if none of the 4 of you were to leave the chambers of House Drakestone for the next day or 2?
Are you kidding? The Seneschal has duties to the Duke. Source's Flay, he's a guard captain. He's got to do if he disappears for a day or 2, people are going to ask questions.
Kidding, no.
Source's Flay says,
Uh,
I would think it would be even wiser that you
Just
four
go.
don't leave Long Keep for the next few days until spoken otherwise by the Duke.
Am I kidding? No, just wishfully thinking out loud. We have
Sources.
duties too, and I can say on pain of legal punishment that the 4 of us will keep each other in line, and if any information is disseminated, you know where to find us.
All right. So look, we need sources. I'd love to stay in one place for a time, but time is of the essence. We don't know how long these riots are going to last. We might not have a chance to take action. These riots could be designed to keep us inside while whatever's happening is going on.
They could escalate of their own volition. Or
That
they
being
could
said-
spring the plot.
Subterfuge is the way. I think we need to go undercover, pretend to be not nobles, obviously, but like common folk.
Mm-hmm. So, recapping, summarizing quickly the things that you got from that Speak with Dead. Markin Oxivi was meeting with this Zelex, who's some kind of sergeant or lieutenant serving Bail Vonder. Walykos knows that he is not someone to be trifled with. He's pretty powerful and is we can assume he's working directly under Bail Vonder. He seems to be in Barnacle. Mark and Oxivi met with him at a hideout that's southern part of the wharf or just past the wharf.
That's the docks. Yeah.
There were some other individuals in Barnacle involved who you think have these code names, Jib, Wormbait, and Klein. Markin himself did do himself in, it seems, with a tooth.
But he was
and it seemed that, yes, it seemed that he got a sending spell from Zelex saying, I warned you not to betray me. And if he rats them out, he was going to do terrible things to his family.
Yeah.
And after the Seneschal had said, I'm going to have the Master of Rituals cast a Zone of Truth on you, and Sir Rigby here is going to make sure that you sing, or else you're going to be in a world of hurt. Yeah. He said, that's it. I'm going to
Take
my
my
life
own
my life was already kind of miserable as it is. So
Yeah.
glad.
Yeah.
I
Bye.
get it.
Yeah.
It really, at this point, I think we need to find that hideout. That's one big move, but there's no way that. I mean, I know it's gonna. It feels like it's clumsy to go straight to the hideout, but it's also our move. Like, if we get there and we find what they were shipping and we stop it, we might be able to prove that this was all conspiracy.
Yeah. Well, so it's simultaneously two things. One, dangerous, because we don't know what's there. We don't know what we're getting into.
Yeah.
We don't know really anything more about it. So it could potentially be a trap for us or something to that nature. But
We
also,
don't know what was being smuggled in precisely.
Yeah.
Right. Also, at the
Could
same
be
time,
poison,
though,
could be-
if we delay,
Yeah.
it's of the essence. If we delay, then we risk them being able to pull off the plot. We risk somebody
We
finding
know
out
not
that we know
how
this.
far into motion this plan is.
Yeah.
We can assume far along.
I think we got to do what we can do. What we can do, the four of us can do,
Right.
is find that hideout and capture Zelex.
I
if we
will
can
be
capture-
I will
Yeah.
be mustering a squadron forthwith to search the wharf, the northern sections of Shackle Downs, bordering along the wharf. If you all
that
wish to
wise?
join in this or to
Yeah.
stake out similar efforts of your own, I think
I
that
think what
would
my
be.
associate says here is that we go first before you send any squadron of guards. That they're going to be noticed. People who are doing things in secret
The
don't
riots
like
are
to be.
going on right now. You would draw the riots to your guards.
We will
Right.
be donned in plain cloth.
You know your business. I will not interfere. I just don't want your guards to get hurt or to cause Zelix to rabbit when he, hears people are looking in the docks. But more eyes is better. There is an argument to be made that your men might see something and we might find this sooner. So
Perhaps your men are to be the net, and we
the speed.
go in first as the horn to flush the animal from hiding, as it were.
We'll be the vanguard. Let's just put it out there.
That has a nice ring to it, yes.
Yeah, it's kind of
Did you come up
catchy.
with that?
Isn't
Who
it?
came up with that? That was a good idea, whoever said that.
Yeah, it was me. So yeah, I like the idea of a net of information that brings us to it, because the quicker we can find it, the sooner we can strike, and they won't have time to move the shipment. They can't,
Right.
Maneuver things quickly with
And
riots going on.
if your guards are positioned nearby, without themselves going in and getting caught, if we go in and things go badly for us and they try and run, your guards will be there to catch them.
I mean, I don't see any flaw with that. We have the hometown advantage. My concern is the riots. I don't want to turn this into fighting in the streets and let them slip through our fingers. Especially
And,
when...
no reason why citizens should get hurt for affairs that are whatever this is.
Yeah, well, cloak and dagger, yeah. Sources, you do that. Central Crane Rillings, what will you be doing during this? Are you going to tell the Duke?
I am going straight forth to the Duke, and I will be
Good.
debriefing him on all that was gleaned and discussed here.
Perfect. If there's anything that you think would be helpful, I think Duncan should be the point of contact, because we'll check in with him afterwards.
Duncan, and Crispin, would you be good enough to accompany me?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. And please, we still have ample magics prepared. Do utilize us as could be needed for divinations or
Preparation.
anything that could be of utility.
I don't suppose. Well, actually, I have some good magics myself, but let's see what would be something they could prepare for us.
Alas, the disguise that I donned myself, I cannot place upon another.
Of course, understandably, that would be too much magic to too powerful a magic if it could. Let's see here.
Yes, whatever wizard it was that figured out the formulation for disguise self, I suppose found it unnecessary to create disguise other.
I believe that it does exist. It's just very powerful magics, I'm sure.
Obscure, of course, not available here in Haven Isle.
Of course. I'm just trying to think. Is there
all right? So
else
it
that they
seems
could
to
do?
be that Source's Flay is going to get a squad together in plain cloth to begin searching in the port. They're going to focus on the southern portion of the port. At that part, it starts to get seedy. And then after that, just south of the port is a district called Shackle Downs, which is a slum.
Yeah.
It's a very poor district. And then the Seneschal, the Master of Rituals, and the Wizard, they are going to go directly to get an audience with the Duke to inform him of everything that happened at this information gathering, speak with dead moment.
Yeah, I think what really needs to happen is the Duke needs to figure out a way to quell the riots peacefully without, just turning soldiers on the civilians. Use this information, leverage it however he can, and we'll try and bring him not a scapegoat, but like the culprit, like who's responsible, and then maybe that will help. Because the Merocrats clearly didn't want to, it sounds to me like the Merocrats are a victim here. Like, he got in over his head, and then his family was threatened.
And he didn't say that many other individuals were involved that he knew of.
Yeah, exactly.
So it could very well be that many of the Merocrats have been manipulated or incited.
I think that we need to kind of crack this open and show that this is not the Merocrats doing this evil, and it's not the Duke, just killing people in prison and, throwing Merocrats in prison for no reason. There's a third party, and once the light has been shown on that, I think we can put the city back to peace.
All right. What do you think is your first step? Like, your party begins a search. It's kind of Spindle to see what he has analyzed or examined from those metal fragments, or something else.
Metal
altogether.
fragments could be useful. What do you guys think? Should we take time to go visit Canis?
That's up to you guys. I think that we should probably just get started with this, finding out what we need to do. But
You're not much for the forensic sciences, I see, Adriel.
no, not much. I think it's best for us to get on with it.
I can understand your logic. Vapor.
I'm kind of two minds. I kind of think we do want to go see Spindle and get an idea of see if he's figured anything out, because that could give us an idea of what we're going into. But at the same time, I'm also thinking we should go in, get this done, try to start finding them.
Between the two options that you've laid out, which would Vapor advocate for at this first step?
I'm not sure. Give me a second on
Assume
that.
we'll do both of them. Okay. All right.
And
we'll
and in terms of the current situation in the city, there are people from the Common Wing, from Shackle Downs, from the Port District, all the kind of non-Drakestone people that are
Merocrat,
actively decrying, Merocrat-aligned folk. There are still large groups of them. If not actively rioting, they're still occupying various noble districts
Oh yeah, and
So
that's
they're
not to
out
say
there.
that they're-
Yeah.
Yeah, they could just be in the streets too. Just they might not be rioting, but they could just be gatherings of people talking in the streets. Who are politically charged, ready to go off in a riot.
Yes.
That being said,
So wherever you go, there's gonna be a good amount of common folk gathered, and they could be ignitable and like provoked into riot easily.
we'll find a way. I have an idea, but
So
I want to hear what Aygir says.
I say this reminds me of a story of a man who argued with the devil over whether or not he should have to kill a family member to gain power or should escape the contest with his life. We are damned if we do, damned if we don't. Out of character, though, yeah. So we obviously, there's just go straight for it or try and gather any possible information first, which probably just means go to kind of Spindle and figure out alchemical stuff, because
He might just look at it
the
and be
Broken
like, I can
Tower
tell you.
district, which is a very small district and very low populated, is probably not much occupied by malcontents.
And as a player, what I see here just in this situation is we don't have much time. The riots are going, and we think they're probably the first stage. They cover up the first stages of whatever the plot's going to be. So we kind of have to pick one and go with it. We either have to just go straight there.
Alternatively, we split the party and meet up in the dock district.
Right.
Because one of us runs off the Canis with the shards, gets the information, and then comes finds us.
So here's that's true. That's very true. The only thing,
3 options.
I as a player, I kind of am actually leaning towards just going for it, because that does seem like where there's going to be some
Seems
excitement.
where the excitement is. Yeah.
Even if it ends horribly for us, which honestly it might. But
That's always
the
possible.
one thing, though, thinking logically and tactically, is that since we still don't actually know where it is, rushing there might be kind of difficult.
Well,
Yeah.
that's where the plan comes in. Like, we would first go to the district. We'd go to the south, as close as we can, and we'd start thinking he had alcohol, so there's probably some ale houses. Let's go there and see if anyone, knew him.
He did say
And if
dwarven
they saw-
strong wine.
Yeah, maybe he drank with someone. Maybe he drank with Jib. Maybe he drank with, the guys.
Or maybe he never drinks, but he knew it was a dangerous situation, so he tried it that one night at the one dwarven establishment that's there, and that, No, I see where you're thinking. It makes a lot of sense. As a character, if we are going to split up, I think Aygir would volunteer to go to kind of Spindle, because, he is always about that. But the only thing he would bring up, how's he going to find you? We're not high enough level to cast like Rary's telepathic bond or something like that, are we?
No, we're not.
So.
But what it would have to be is we'd have to agree to meet up. We'd guesstimate how long it would take you to get to Spindle, give you like a 30-minute leeway, and then like how long it would take to get there. And we would just say, at this kind of time, meet us at the smokehouse on the docks,
Which, that's a reasonable estimation to make, because we do know actually the distance,
and that would give us enough time to.
Or
do
y'all
a
could
little
reconvene
legwork.
at the Rook Tower, because that would be like in between Spindle's Broken Tower and
that's kind of far away, though.
The port.
I think,
wouldn't we want to continue pounding the docks and seeing what's there after he meets up with us?
Right.
So
I was just thinking like a meet in the middle, like one person's checking out the Shackle Downs or the docks, and the other person's with Spindle. Then
that would be good.
I need to make a city map for this.
We'd love a city map. We'll use it.
Yeah, I should get on that. Okay.
Nice.
Okay, I will.
Well, that'll be a fun
throw
project.
it on the back of a T-shirt. Put the Vanguard on the front of it. Put it in your store right next to one that says "Open Up" with a little Stormbreaker logo.
Nice. Honestly, open up. Yeah, that would be great. I get you. Where was I? So the idea is we should stay local to the docks, because we're going to keep going through the docks until we find the hideout. We could find the hideout immediately,
Right.
And then meeting up halfway doesn't really help us either. You know, he's going to have to come to the docks anyways.
Yeah,
So,
I see where you are on this. That makes definitely more sense, because that way you can just be constantly searching, assuming you don't find it immediately.
Let's come up, Esper. Is there any smokehouse in the dock district that we all know? Doesn't matter kind of where the dock district's good enough that it's close enough that we could meet up.
There is a fume hovel is what you're searching for.
Sorry,
there.
that's what I meant.
Yep,
Yeah.
indeed, for sure. Yeah, the southern part of Havensport gets seedy, and then there's not really a super clear line. It kind of blends into Shackledowns, and that corner of Shackledowns has some docks of its own for people's own fishing boats and stuff.
I just
But
need
right
one
around
hovel.
there's a fume hovel that you all are aware of.
I say the name of that fume hovel, and that's the one that we're going to meet up. Please be in disguise, everyone. I don't want the famous hero. Like, the city kind of knows us, so put your hoods up, do whatever you gotta do, rub mud on your face. Vapor, I don't know what you can do with this, but we'll work on it. I'll help. So I think that's what we'll do. Aygir, you're going to be the one person that goes, or do you need backup? Because I'm willing to go and help.
I should desperately hope that my part of this is the safer one by far, and that you're the one who needs backup.
Yeah, but I mean, the city is in riot right now. I know that portion isn't going to be rioting.
I am
but
more
you
sure
never
that
know.
I will survive my task than you. So
Okay.
worry about yourself and don't die.
All right. Well,
I don't like a lot of people. And
Try to
like
save
is a
your
strong
magic. We're
word,
gonna-
But I don't mind you. Don't
I
tell me
appreciate
about the other one.
appreciate that.
The fume hovel that you're aware of is called Wild Love.
Wild love.
Wild Love at the south end of Havensport.
Wild love, is that like cherry flavored?
It's all
would
one
be
word.
cherry
All
flavored.
one word. Wild Love.
Okay. Well, don't waste your magic on the crowds, So get there, get to the fume hovel. We'll meet you there.
He at this point has already been, buttoning up a cloak and pulling a hood even over his helmet is masked, but the mask could be kind of distinctive if somebody knows him, so he pulls the hood up over that.
I'm gonna pull my my mantle up over my head, the green, the white, mantle, and I will do a little, it changes its color a little bit to blend in actually, which it can do. It can allow me to hide even while being observed.
I'll do my own thing, hide myself and cover myself in my clothes, but I'll probably just sneak out the back if needed.
Adriel, come here a second. Yeah, here. I just take a scarf and I just kind of throw it around your lower face, so all that you can see is your eyes. I'm like, yeah, we don't want anyone recognizing you. They will tear you apart.
Yeah,
And you've got way too much to do.
I give you a nod and I say, that's probably a good idea. I guess I'm muffled. Probably a good idea.
You're Kenny from South Park. Yeah.
I was just.
Oh, this will be very more difficult with me.
That's foreboding.
I actually, I look at Vapor.
God!
I look at Vapor and
Killed Adriel, those bastards.
I look at Vapor. I say, actually, I do have a disguise kit. If we want to spend about an hour, I could get something prepared for Vapor.
I mean, does it take an hour?
Takes an hour, yeah. I believe I'll read it real fast just to make sure.
If you want a good disguise, you could easily spend an hour getting into character.
Oh, I don't disagree. I feel like we could very quickly change his features. People don't know him necessarily from some other guy. We don't need we just need them not to look twice.
When you mention doesn't know, Vapor points to the eye patch.
Yeah, I think
Take off the eye patch for a second. Is it
You see the eye? It's like
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. It actually takes it takes 10 minutes to craft a disguise that involves moderate changes and 30 minutes for one that requires more extensive. So half an hour if we wanted to do it.
That's pretty
fully.
generous.
we would need to do the half-hour one because that eye patch has got to be hidden somehow.
Yeah. Time is of the essence,
And
but
also-
I think we
and
have
also
half
it
an
wouldn't-
hour.
And also it wouldn't use
Yeah.
magic and it would it would make him more disguised. So
Fine.
All right,
But
so
you gotta
Unless
take
someone
this-
has a pair of goggles somewhere.
Here, take this crutch. You're gonna walk with a limp.
Oh, Aygir might have something that he could give him.
Also, if it matters, Esper, I don't know how you want to rule it. I'm looking at the disguise kit right now. It's talking about like the activity, and it says that there's like a DC check for like each one. I don't know if that's like a DM thing or if
That's
from you,
probably from
Probably.
Xanathar's guide. There was like some book where they
Yeah.
introduced ways to use all the skills.
yeah, I can read them to
Xanathar's
you if
guide.
you want,
I thought it
or-
was Xanathar's guide.
Yeah, I can read them to you, or we can just go with a normal roll,
I
or
mean-
I don't know how you want to do it.
Sure, go ahead and read it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it says
It's from
activity covers injuries or distinguishing marks. That's a DC of 10. Spot a disguise being used by someone else. That's a DC 15. And copy a humanoid's appearance is DC 20. If it was me, I'd probably say like, I mean, I'm not trying to copy anyone's appearance. I'm just trying to like make him look different, you know?
Mhm.
So I don't know what the DC would be. Maybe 14, 15. Doesn't seem like it'd be like a full 20. I don't know. So I don't know what you.
Okay. Yeah, those guidelines are pretty similar to what I would have in mind, anyways.
Yeah.
So I'll have you roll a check for it, if you're ready to do that.
Yeah, and I believe
While Adriel's getting himself ready, I'm unclear if you guys are splitting up and then meeting there. Did you confirm that you're doing that?
So yes, we did. However, we're gonna be searching the whole time he's with Kana Spindle.
Uh-huh.
We're
It's
not.
Aygir,
We're not gonna,
Aygir and Vapor are going to Conaspindle?
Just Aygir.
No, Vapor
Just
sticking with
Just
Walykos
Aygir.
and
Okay. And
That way we can
Adriel, you're
maximize-
using the disguise kit on yourself or yourself and Vapor?
I was just gonna use it on Vapor, but yeah, I guess I could use it on myself as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, gotcha.
So I guess that would take an hour, because that'd be 2 people.
10 minutes to craft it.
10 minutes if it's something minor and simple. So if
Yeah.
you're okay with
I
doing
guess-
that
okay,
for
so-
yourself.
Yeah, I guess for myself I'll do something minor, and then for Vapor,
Cover
I'll do the full 30
distinguishing.
minutes, so about
Yeah.
40 minutes altogether.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Adriel is working on Vapor's disguise first. Meanwhile, Aygir is leaving
May I-
Strong
may I-
Castle and heading to the Broken Tower.
Oh, also, if I may, just to clarify the kind of disguise that I'm gonna give Vapor, it is going to be a disguise that is quite
Are you gonna turn him
what's
into
the-
like a troll doll with
No,
like
no,
sticking up hair?
kind of, yeah. Like I'm gonna make him look pretty ridiculous,
Pink,
because Adriel has a
flaming
sense of
pink hair.
humor. So yeah, so Adriel's disguise will be very basic and just normal, but like he's gonna make Vapor look really ridiculous.
Now,
you're
mind
going to
you-
disguise him by making him stand out.
Yep.
So wait a second. You don't see your own disguise yet until he holds up the mirror. So
Exactly.
Yeah,
let's hear what
I
he
know.
has to do.
Adriel,
didn't have any- I
are
didn't have
you
a
are you muffling laughter? No,
Oh,
it
for
looks
sure.
good.
I probably am. I would bet that because like this is kind of where like obviously Adriel doesn't really like Vapor, and like this is his chance to kind of get some like comedic payback. So yeah, definitely he's probably
It's
like
also
muffling
helping
some-
you. This will actually disguise. you.
It will disguise you. Like it will actually work. It's just gonna be ridiculous.
Okay,
You're
so
gonna look
so
at-
Adriel's working on that, and Aygir, you leave Strong Castle, heading towards the Broken Tower. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wasting any time. Cause,
Okay.
Did you wait? You said maybe something about having goggles or something.
I don't have goggles, but
I don't have anything specific listed in my inventory, but if I could have like a piece of very sheer cloth, I could essentially give you like a wedding veil equivalent that you could drape over your eyes or your face, just so you can see through it. People can't see your face very well. That's like the best I could think of.
I was thinking of goggles because that would definitely hide it.
Okay. I don't have those, sadly. What? Who has
So,
goggles?
I
in this
Aygir,
setting? Anyway,
you leave first Long Keep, right, and then you go across this like massive bridge that spans the gulf that gets you into Strong Castle, which is this massive old giant castle converted into multitudinous dwellings of elves in the present day. The outskirts of Strong Castle, you actually don't see rioting happening. You see there are a few unfamiliar faces that have come from the Merocrat-controlled districts, but there's not a lot of them, and it seems like the guards of Strong Castle are keeping that at bay for the time being. So, you probably, the worst that it gets is you probably pass somewhat near a group of common folk who they sneer, maybe say a mocking word, and they mostly just kind of mutter amongst themselves disparaging things about you. Does that ruffle your feathers? Do you rise to that, or you just blow it off and keep going?
So just in case he did get confronted by anyone, he probably in his head's been working on a bit of like his own attempt at a local elf voice. So if people, what are they saying? Are they disparaging him just for coming from here?
You hear things like,
It's one of them. Pfft, he's alone. We could take him. Yeah.
so just kind of provocative, disrespectful things, but they don't approach you.
I mean, he keeps walking by, and maybe as he does, it says like, "I'm a bloody cook. Fuck the bastards."
All right. But no, there's no real direct confrontation, and the crowds are fairly well dispersed outside of Strong Castle. You make your way to the Broken Tower District, which is a small district, and it's not a place that gets much attention. The Lord there is a recluse, so go figure. You reach the Broken Tower, and at the door, you are met by Adelmond, the albino, hunchbacked house servant of Lord Connor Spindle.
Hello there, Aygir. Dangerous about. Better get inside. Come in.
Was it that obvious? I thought this was good. I even practiced my elf voice. Oi, you. Yeah, I ain't one of those poncy twits. What? Nah, common folk. Take down our Stone. Is that not good? I thought that was good. I heard enough of them talk. I thought it was alright. Anyway.
I'm thoroughly impressed with you. You'll be wanting to see the master, I take it?
Yes, in due haste.
In due haste. Well then, I will spare with the pleasantries. Come.
He follows.
You are lifted up the hoist to the upper levels of Connor Spindle's tower. Mercy comes, the homunculus comes fluttering out and kind of like flits all about your head, lands on your shoulder, gives you inquisitive eyes.
He nods in the direction of the homunculus. What? What do you want? Legitimately not know it. Wait, what did he do?
He did some different hand gestures. He seems to be begging you for something.
Yeah. Okay, so not legitimately not knowing what it's asking for, he's gonna pull out one of those little shoddy Firbolg children bead necklaces and give him that. And possibly just under his breath, Duncan never asked for that.
He grasps it possessively and flutters off. Yes! Aygir, is that you? The voice of Connor Spindle calls out from the workshop.
Yes, it is. I'm afraid there is no time for small talk now. This must be quick. Not here on a socials call.
The tall, old, venerable elf, wizened and frail on his arm and leg braces, comes out.
This is as fast as I can go. What is the emergency?
For various reasons, I don't think I can go into full detail, even if I want to.
Ugh.
But there are things afoot, I'm sure you know, if heard the news. We're not responsible, I can assure you that, but we need to see if perhaps we're the ones to fix it. for your part, I need to know. He pulls out the parcel that includes all those little vials and bottles. I need to know everything you can tell me in a few minutes about these.
Oh. Well, follow me. I should have just had you come into the workshop right away.
It's usually a good plan.
Hold on to these, if you will. Okay.
He gets himself situated in his workshop, which has a number of tables and workbenches, tools and stacks of spare parts and documents and papers, and it really is controlled chaos is the best way to describe it. He seems to know his way around it and gets pretty touchy if anyone moves anything. He has you set out the vials.
Hey, Mercy, what is that?
Oops. Are you guys still hearing me?
I am.
Okay, I just actually bumped something with my gestures, but I guess I didn't screw up our audio. Okay. Yeah, so Mercy is quite like possessively, like, you know, one at a time pulling the beads over, like, yeah.
Okay. This is ooze slime. An ochre variety. This crackle powder. Are you familiar with it?
Loosely, but I wanted to know your opinions and conjectures on it.
I might actually have a bit here. Let me see here. Yes. Mercy, hand me that. No. Oh, open the other drawer. No, your other right. Yes. Bring it over. Yes, here. And that tray. Yes.
So he sets out this iron tray, kind of a heavy thing, has a number of like blackened marks on it. Takes this vial and like taps out a pinch of this powder, and takes a little, what do you call it? A little fire starter, little burner thing.
Striker.
There we go.
Yeah.
And it's just a tiny pinch of the stuff, and it kicks up, it flares up, and it has all these like pops and sparks that kind of fly out every which way.
So that was just a baby's breath pinch there. A whole flask's worth of this would be, likely to kill a person. Maybe not you. You're made of stronger stock than that, but it would kill the typical person. Yes.
And should someone have
alchemist fire, essentially.
Should someone have exceptionally large quantities of it, what would they be capable of?
It would be incredibly dangerous. A barrel of this could potentially blow through a ship's hull. Potentially take out part of a wall. Could kill several men that are within near radius of it. It would be quite devastating. But that's a lot of crackle powder. You're not like to see an entire barrel's worth.
I sure hope not. Now I know that you, not necessarily you, but you people, resorted to some different measures when you took what is now Barnacle from the Giants. But
certainly, yes, we deployed a number of different tactics.
Would you see something like this as a way of striking a decisive blow against those who you would remove from power?
It could be wielded like such. It would take a great deal of logistics to get it to work out properly, though. There must someone who is a capable spellcaster could more efficiently deal blasts of fire and other arcane artillery like assaults.
And
you and your vanguard party would be. I would employ you all way before I went through all the trouble of trying to arrange an entire barrel of cracker powder and getting it set into the right place and ignited and not getting it set off at the wrong time and blowing up your own people before you get there. It's a lot of complications that could go along the way.
And these metal flakes or
yes,
shards, are they
these.
an ingredient or are they... How are they related?
He takes out some tweezers. Holds it over the flame.
There was something on this metal. I wouldn't see crackle powder being strong enough to blast through whatever this was. Metal pot, a cuirass of iron, or steel, a helmet, part of a weapon. Whatever this was. Crackle powder's not strong enough to do that. No, but there was something on it. Yeah. I don't know.
You don't know? Something like what?
Let me see this. He takes out a book, flips open some pages.
No. Would you help me in this, Aygir?
He hands you a couple of leather-bound volumes.
We're looking for flammables and volatiles. You might want to look at the writings of Magister Williard there. Yeah, that one there.
If you would like, make an investigation check, Aygir. You're going to be aiding him and doing a bit of research because he's not right off sure of what was applied to this metal.
Sure.
But he suspects it had something applied to it.
That's really good. That's a 24.
24. Okay. So this is representing a little bit of time as you and Kana Spindle are referencing these books and talking to each other and also experimenting, and you have some other kind of alchemical ingredients and powders and stuff. So you have all these little fragments and you do these like series of tests and you determine a couple things.
Scratch it against some like hardness testing thing.
Yeah.
A little bit of it in some kind of acid. Okay.
You determine a couple things which take your concerns to a new level. First of all, you determine that these fragments are that of an arrowhead. It's a It's like a shattered to shards arrowhead. The arrowhead was coated by a rare alchemical compound, which you have located in one of these books, known as brine star. Brine star, in and of itself, is fairly stable. It's not something that you just like. You couldn't just put some brine star on your arrowhead and shoot someone. It's not going to really do anything. It might give them a slight chemical burn. But if you were to apply that, let's just see this for the purposes of curious investigation, though maybe not here. No, probably not here. Aygir, we're going to take the hoist to the top level. It's a mess. Please, pardon the mess. So he doesn't want to conduct this final experiment right here in his workshop.
Mess or no mess? No. It's fine. been to the top level before.
Well, there's not much of it left. It's a blasted ruin. That's why we're going to complete this test up there.
Yes, of course.
Edelman! Mercy, get Edelman to man the hoist. Edelman, get yourself to the crank. Thank you.
So you and Kana Spindle, you go up the hoist, up to the top level of the broken tower, and here is where you truly see the evidence of its namesake, as it's not even an enclosed area. It's essentially, imagine like a floor of the tower, and like half of the ceiling is just this chunk that's missing. So you've got like the open air, like half of your field of vision when you look up is just open air, and there are still like piles of rubble, and there's like spider webs, and it's just exposed to the elements. There's lichen growing. There's like some vermin scurry by.
Nice day out. I'm surprised if you don't take your breakfast out here.
If you would,
Take this, and he hands you essentially a vial of solution that he extracted whatever he could of the brine star residue from the arrowheads. So it's just, there can't be more than a drop or half a drop of this brine star stuff.
hold this. Okay. Mercy,
Take this. He hands Mercy this like little, just like a little wad, right? Just like a wad of paper. And Mercy goes and he flies.
a few more, another yard, for good measure. Yes, thank you. Yes, just put the sprinkling just right there on that stone before you. Thank you. All right, now come back. Okay. I want you to take that dropper from Aygir. Now, I want you to be very delicate with this. No, you're not going to do it directly. No, take that stick, the branch over there. Yes, all right. Yes, yeah. You're going to ever so gingerly put the droplet onto the little pinch of crackle powder. You might want to drop it from a few feet. Yeah, I don't know. Just don't put your face in it when you... Yeah, flutter away as quickly as you can. Yes.
So Mercy takes this like, just like this little stand, right? This like little eye loop, thin arm thing of metal with a little dropper in it, and like flaps over to where he put down this little pinch of the crackle powder, and he like 10-foot pulls it as best he can.
This is so many flashbacks to
just drop.
School.
Just kind of like drops it, like and, like flaps away. His first attempt, it misses. It's like such a fine procedure. It doesn't even hit it, just ding, 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 to the side, and he has to go and do it again. And like the second time he gets it, and he flaps off, and this like half a drop of brine star, when it hits a pinch of crackle powder, goes, and there's just like this blasting, like this flare, like a pillar of explosion. And it blasts out as well, and it like breaks the rock open.
Oh, a violent reaction when brine star is mixed with crackle powder.
And if you could somehow put that in an arrowhead.
If you could somehow put an oil-like substance on an arrowhead, yes. It seems quite feasible. But brine star, that is an extremely advanced formula. It is not something that, well, as best I know, no one can produce it in Barnacle. I might. I don't even know if there's no local reagents that could produce this. I would need to send for some sort of something more exotic, something from a far off reagent.
Almost like you'd need some smugglers to bring that in.
Right.
From far off land, yeah.
Well, far off lands, I fear I overstayed my questions for today, but you wouldn't know where it traditionally comes from, do you?
Well, see what the book says.
So you flip back open, the treatise on rare admixtures by Magister Williard, and lo and behold, one of the main reagents is native to Drismteague.
All right. Well, okay. It's starting to add up a little bit.
Found in the deep slime pits beneath the surface of Drismteague.
Yeah. So it takes some very expensive and rare. They're probably expensive because they're like rare imported exotic things, right?
Well, you don't have any more insight for me on any of this somehow, do you?
Well, if you are intending to stop whoever is attempting to manufacture these substances and use them for ill intent, I wish you utmost success. I would not want such power to fall into the wrong hands. Who is it? Is it this Belvander? He's
that I do not fully
going to
know.
use an alchemical attack upon Barnacle.
That I do not know. Not to its full extent, anyway. In the interest of actually keeping the information we learned just to the 8 people, unfortunately, that were present there, I think we can trust Connor Spindle, but he might not want to, tell him more than he really needs to know, so... just a curiosity question. If you had access to these 2 reagents and wanted to cause the most possible chaos, what would you do?
Well, what could we do? We could... Maybe you could make a sort of 2-chambered pot. The lower half containing the crackle powder and the upper half containing the brine star, and fly over in kite sails and drop it upon the homes and the armies of your enemy. Such a bombardment would be devastating. Costly, but one with the means and the funding and the conviction for it, I wouldn't put it past them.
And if you put metal, such as an arrowhead, into that pot, that would make it do even more damage, right? Flying metal shards.
Oh, I suppose it would, though. If I were near, if you were near the blast, I think the shrapnel would be the least of your concerns.
Okay, all right. So I see. They were probably just using it as a test.
You'd be better off being struck at the center of a wizard's fireball.
Well, I think I'm sure I have no more time for today.
Be safe out there. Let's hope these dreadful riots are quelled before long.
I certainly hope so, and I certainly hope that perhaps today we might even achieve the act which is going to accomplish that. Before I'm going to ride the hoist all the way down. Before I go, and he undoes from his belt a sort of in between size, a large pouch or purse, and a small satchel, and lays it on the ground in front of Connor Spindle and says, "Keep the change." And it's his entire current stash of the nice Furbolg Grove Sheen.
It is very generous. I will make sure to use it sparingly until such occasion that you can join me in partaking, preferably in celebrating your success against this evil-doing alchemy.
I should certainly hope so. And
alchemical evildoers.
If anything should go not that way, I've learned a great deal here, and I am grateful for that.
Why are you saying this, Aygir?
Never matter. And he's gonna summon the hoist, or tell Edelman to start lowering the hoist now that he's standing on that.
You have an awkward 5 minutes waiting for the hoist.
Don't you? Well, I'm not going to tell you to don't you go do something stupid because that's exactly the sort of thing you will do. Don't you go getting yourself killed or dismembered or other such terrible malady.
Of all of my associates and myself, I'd like my own chances the best, if that's any consolation.
If I were a betting man, I would place mine on you as well. I mean, look at this armor here. This is keep you protected better than anything.
Even against what we talked about?
Well, I mean, let's not get overly ambitious or exaggeratory, but, you know, certainly better than your comrades who wear naught but garments.
Well, then save some of that for me, will you? And he points at the bag of grocery.
I will. I will be saving it for when we have a celebratory moment in the near future.
With hopefully 3 more people besides us. Maybe you can even get.
Well, then I have something that I wish to hand over to you. Well, to give to you. Just in case you need these.
He hands you two vials.
They are for resistance against burns.
He hands you 2 potions of fire resistance.
Okay.
If
Nice.
You suspect you're going to be going somewhere where such alchemist fire or worse will be deployed against you as weapons, I've brewed these up. I know you were making incursions into the lava dungeon beneath your sanctum. So here we are. They are serving yet another purpose.
I should hope I don't need to use them.
Oh well. We can always hope. We'll hope
If I
in one
do,
hand and
thank
piss
you.
into the other. See which one fills up first.
Well,
Awkward silence.
save some of that for me. I should
Just
hope,
go.
I assumed he's already on the voice lower.
So
lower
Aygir and
yeah.
Spindle kind of bid themselves adieu at a very awkward, pathetic attempt of a pseudo, apprentice mentor father son dynamic of don't die, my boy, don't get yourself killed. So you
Aygir is neither charismatic nor sure that any of us are going to live at this particular point.
Meanwhile, Adriel
Would be
has
an
been working on
optimist.
Vapor. Adriel, what is your masterpiece that you've created?
I didn't have a super good idea, but I would say think of the it wouldn't look exactly like this, but this is kind of the kind of idea I'm going for is those glasses with the mustache and the big nose at the with the googly
The
eyes.
generic
Groucho Marx
Groucho
glasses.
Marx disguise.
Yeah, basically I'm making him look something like that. Not exactly, obviously, because but similar to so it's
Okay.
basically I'm making him look like that, but more realistic, basically.
All
if
right.
that
Did
makes
you
sense.
powder his skin so it doesn't have that
Yeah,
elemental
yeah, I
coloration to it?
Yeah, I definitely get the color away from his skin, and then for
Okay.
myself, obviously, I'd be doing a very basic disguise because I'm only doing 10 minutes for myself because I've got the scarf and my hood and
Yeah,
everything. So it might
You're just
glow,
covering.
so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
But yeah,
cool.
so after I finish,
So,
though,
Adriel, make a disguise kit check using. I
it
think
says it uses
wisdom.
charisma.
Charisma.
Oh, should okay,
I
yeah,
could
that's
see
what it
wisdom
says,
or
but-
charisma. I think either one could work.
Okay. I will use charisma because I have a +1 in that.
Okay.
Alrighty. So this one will be for. Do you want me to just do one roll for both of us or one for each?
Let's do the roll for Vapor first, and then your own.
All right. The roll for Vapor is a natural 20.
Wow.
Yes. Wow.
Vapor
yes,
looks
that's 24
Vapor looks
altogether.
very different. He does not look like Vapor at all, but it looks natural. He looks, kind of like a like a funny old guy, but not
Yep.
but not unnatural.
Not a natural. Okay, good.
And then for yourself?
myself, I get a. Let's see. Not as high, only a 10, but I wasn't doing anything major for myself, so
Okay.
I'm not.
So you got the simple DC for the simple effect for yourself, and then a really high one for the more involved
More
application to vapor.
complicated one, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Actually, that
Well,
worked out just fine for you then.
So after I finish, so I would have done myself first. I know that we rolled it separately, but I would have done myself first, and then after I finish up Vapor, I'm like kind of snickering a little bit as I hold the mirror up so that he can see. I say, "What do you think, Vapor?"
Vapor looks and goes, "You." It just leaves it at that, and then just turns and starts walking towards the door.
All right. So Vapor looks like Mr. Magoo, and you all.
You might want to use a different voice. I might suggest like an old man voice or something of that nature. No one will recognize you, though. Don't worry.
The finger creeps up.
Yeah, I'll put my my supplies back to where they came from, and I'll get ready to go too. Is Walykos still in here, by the way, or did he?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll look to Walykos because I'm not gonna go with Vapor, so I'll say, well, Walykos, should we head out?
Yes, we should. And we.
All right,
should
so
see
everyone
if
is
we
going to
can
be
find
meeting
that.
at this fume hovel. In
No,
the
you misunderstood, Esper. We're going to be searching, and then we're meeting him because
Right.
it took Aygir some time to do that research and
Yeah.
experimenting.
Right. Probably longer, hopefully longer than it took you to just disguise yourselves.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And travel time. So.
Yep.
Yeah, because I'm coming from a distance away.
So we're going to do a little preliminary investigation during that time that he was doing his stuff with Canis.
And is Vapor? Where is Vapor going exactly? Is he just going to the hovel, or is he coming with us?
He's coming with us, was my assumption, unless.
Well, I know. Well, he said he walked out, so I don't know. If...
Well,
you are his
here's the-
his good luck charm. You're his
That's
good
what I was
juju.
going to say.
Oh,
I don't
that's
think
right,
he
that's
would
right.
walk out.
That's true. That's true. Yep. Well.
He
I'll
was
say,
heading for the door. He was
He stops at the door. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
it.
Well, Vapor. I don't think anyone's gonna notice you in that
Vapor?
call.
Where's Vapor? Who's this guy?
Yes, should we give him a name?
Groucho.
I liked it, Groucho, Mr.
Right.
Groucho.
Yeah.
Well, Vapor is kind of grouchy.
Yeah, it works.
All right. Groucho.
Yes, well, of course we should go and begin searching. Right away.
Nice.
All right. So Vapor
yeah.
Magoo, Adriel in plain clothes, and Walykos with
My sort of color changing cloak.
hooded, color changed
Yeah,
cloak.
and I've got like the scarf on as well. So
Excellent. The three of you make your way out of Long Keep, across the great stretching bridge, through Strong Castle, past the Storm Tower. The crowd gathered at the Storm Tower is less than it was yesterday when it was full-on riot. There are still people that are not lurking, but loitering around, kind of hovering around.
They're gathered in little groups.
Milling about. Some of them have made like a little fire to keep themselves warm.
it's
They
more
brought
of
in
a-
some
it's more-
food. They're kind of
more of like an
camped out there.
occupation. More of like
Exactly.
an occupation at this point than like a riot or protest. Yeah.
They
Gotta pace yourself.
but nobody says anything to you all. There's only just one moment where one of the groups of let's call them common folk. Yeah, one of the groups of the common folk. They, this guy, he kind of points at your group quickly, briefly, and then goes back and is checking something with a friend of his. So someone said something about you all, but
Doesn't he look like such and such? Yeah.
it could be something like that, but no one
That's what
directly
I said.
does anything.
That's fine.
The next district that you pass is probably the Gloom Tower, which is a another one of the big old giant towers that got converted to elven purposes, and it has this haze that perpetually hangs over it. This is House Brackenbluff, Ethel Brackenbluff. She's a lady of the Gloom Tower. She's a widow. Her son is Sir Rigby, who's a knight, and her nephew is Sir Keon, also a knight. Sir
Rigby is like an interrogation associate over at the prison, right?
Apparently he's a strong one who knows how to get people to talk, knows how to rough them up a bit.
So maybe like a senior interrogation associate.
Maybe. The crowd here is a little bit less than what was at the Storm Tower, and you all pass by with just, you're just kind of faces in the crowd. Next is the Havenward Spire. Now, this is a unique sort of tower. It is not an original structure of this settlement. It is a mushroom tower in the stylings of the city of Plethoris. Plethoris, which is on like the mainland of Haven Isle and to the north, is like this city within the mushroom forest. And Plethoris has a lot of these giant mushroom towers. These are things that were, magically cultivated and magically shaped. And it's difficult to get them to grow in the city of Barnacle. Just the foundation of the city is real rocky, and it's not very suitable. But House Havenward are the only one that got one of these mushroom spires to grow. So they got a mushroom spire. The Lord here is Lord Stroud. He's the master of coin. His son is also a knight, Sir Raynar. He also has a younger sister. Her name is Misty Havenward. She's a lady. She also shows promise of potential skill at wizardry, and she's been apprenticing Crispin Hallows. So she's kind of on her journey towards arcane arts. The crowd here is about the same it was at the Gloom Tower. Not a lot of people, just kind of scattered smaller groups, and no one really pays you any mind. You then have really made it past the kind of the edge of Drakestone aligned territory. You go through the Common Wing, which there it's essentially a busy, bustling city day. Yeah, there are people on the street that are like decrying House Drakestone. There are like, barkers and, outcriers of these groups of malcontents. And some of them are pretty extreme. Some of them are saying things that are, from as far as you are informed, are like exaggerations or inaccuracy or even outright lies. Some people are saying that, Drakestone is, they are plotting to meticulously, one by one, capture all the leaders of the Merocrats. They will be assassinated. They will fall like so many tiles on a game board. Then they'll come for us. Your families will be under the thumb of Drakestone, and their loyal, rich, grubbing, corrupt bastards. People, shout out their curses, and it's very protesting, very, very emotion fueled.
If we weren't on a mission,
malcontent.
We could, totally shoot this guy down, like verbally. I mean, yeah. But I don't have time.
Maybe physically, maybe in.
Well, we could definitely shoot him down physically, but I'm just thinking like it'd be pretty easy to tear his argument apart.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no. Adriel's not going to do anything. He's just going to kind of ignore it. Like they can't afford to be spotted right now. So
good. Yeah.
You then enter Haven's Port, which is a large port district, and it has some more well-maintained portions of it, and it has some seedier, dirtier, less repaired portions. The major sections of it have these massive piers, and they receive like fire galleons that come across the sea of lava and bring in major trade and take exports from Haven Island. So that's kind of the pinnacle of the port. But there's everything down to just like little tiny, dirty, busted up wooden plank docks that have crusty fishing boats coming and going, and crabbing rigs and stuff like that. It's again a pretty busy, bustling day. There are some of these groups of malcontents, and certainly you'll hear people talking about the news of the day. But more than that,
far from the seat of power.
Yeah, more than that, there are people going about their affairs of their business. If you were to head kind of northwards, you would actually get to a place that's called the Sea Palace. The Sea Palace. It's not really a palace. Like, if you go and you look at it, if you didn't know that was the name, you wouldn't call it that. It doesn't have that opulent, sweeping royal grandeur to it. You would maybe think like, oh, it's some kind of house of law, which that's kind of what it is. Yeah, it's some kind of manor home, perhaps. So that is the seat of the Sea Queen Porcelina, who again is a queen in name only. She's not really a queen in the sense of what a queen truly is. It's sort of an honorary title. And so she is kind of the figurehead of the Merocrats. It's not really a queen like in a monarchical sense. Again, more of a title of affection. But that's where she is, and other major political figures of the Merocrats. They work there, and they
well, that's good.
Work through things. To the south, though, is where you're looking. You're looking the south, where it gets seedier, and where it will eventually blend into the slum district of the Shackle Downs. So I'll turn it over to you all to kind of set the tone of what you're doing here.
Well, I think that we should start looking with the clues that we have. We know he was brought in that night with alcohol, strong spirits, dwarven spirits even. How many, can we ask regular to the docks, the southern part, and ask, do they know of any dwarven spirit bars?
Or maybe not even dwarven spirit bars, but just maybe like locations where dwarves might tend to go, Let's
start with the bars. We can always change, after that. I feel like this is a good guess.
Do you have a particular sort of person that you're looking to ask? I mean, you probably aren't just going to go just asking any old random person.
No, probably a dwarf
would be the best,
because they're the ones who drink more than anyone else. Maybe a sailor dwarf would be ideal.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because they come into port, and this is something that maybe they, gotta blow off some steam.
You look and you look. You're trying to look at a dwarf. Make a perception check.
Oh, will I?
Are we? Am I able to are Vapor and
all three of you? Yeah.
Okay. Perception, you said?
Yep.
Indeed.
25, Esper.
Yeah, I got a 25 as well.
Nice.
You spot one right off. There's a bristly, black-bearded dwarf who is kind of barking commands at Kuru that are loading something onto a ship. The ship is It's a coastal sort of skiff. 2 masts, a mid-sized ship. Look like they're loading up trade goods.
Yeah, I'll walk over to him and say,
He's
So,
barking out orders in the giant tongue to dwarven crew.
is
You
he
notice
saying in giant?
you notice also a couple humans, a halfling. Just barking orders like, you there, be careful with that. That breaks. You're going to be working without pay
Yeah,
for the next 2 years.
I'll like walk up and if there's like a crate or something that they're moving that I can maybe help with, like I'll walk over and maybe like go to help him out a bit and then say like, boy, I was wondering, do you happen to know where I could maybe get a stronger drink, some dwarven drinks around here?
Make a persuasion check as he looks at you with the look of, who the hell are you?
That's very good. 23.
Eager for a bit of drink, are ya? Hey, little Daisy, can you handle it?
He laughs at you, elven
Yeah,
fellow, half
I'll,
elven, but what does he know?
I guess he can't see me because I've got like this, like my face, but like I guess I'd raise my eyebrows in like a kind jovial way and be like, oh, I think I can. Most of these other places too weak for me, for my taste, for my liking.
You drink dwarven spirits.
I try to. Try my
You're
best.
taking the piss out of me.
No, not at all, sir. I wouldn't do that.
Hey,
And he like shouts to some of his men,
come,
Oh God.
get a sniff of this.
Now.
It's an elf who takes dwarven drink. What is this now, eh? You what?
They come up to you and they kind of gawk at you and eyeball you.
Yeah, I say, yeah, no, it's most of these other places I've been to, they never have anything strong enough, but I hear the dwarven spirits are strong enough, for me, perhaps.
Where did you learn to take dwarven drink?
Well, I'm actually a human, so my father is a dwarf, and, he taught me the ways.
Oh, piss and pimples, a human. Pff. Well, tell you what. If you can hold base with me for 1 single hour, the drinks will be on my tab.
Oh God.
Do I see him like floundering?
Hey,
like,
men, we need a break now, don't we? Yeah, come on now, show us what you got.
No.
Yeah, come on, Halfy.
Yeah,
Kato, my friend. Did you find the directions that that dwarven drinking establishment in the southern?
Hey, don't drink, you ain't got no beard. You've got to have at least a few hairs sprouting on your chin if you've truly drank.
So, yeah, I was trying
Supposed
to
to meet
find
our
one.
friend. Yeah.
Yeah, we were, and I'll look at the dwarf and say, yeah, I'd love to drink with you all. Perhaps another time, though. I am meeting up with a friend of mine, and closer into inlet. He tends to go to the dwarven.
Yeah. Can you
dwarven
give us
spots.
directions? Because we could meet you there if you come with it. But there's a particular establishment to the south that we're looking for.
Well, the closest spirit well to here is Sappy Sink. Just want to go down that street, take the second left, and it'll be the stairs going down.
I appreciate
That's-
that.
That's in the south part of the docks.
Are you bloody blind? Just go down that street there. Second left. Just take it to the left, and there'll be stairs going down.
That was a question to you, Esper. Is that in the south part of the docks?
I knew that. You're breaking me out of my immersion. I like this
I'm
dwarf.
sorry.
Yes, it would be to the south from where you are currently standing.
Fantastic. All right, back in. Well, that's fantastic. Kato, we gotta go there, and maybe we'll see you gentlemen there after you're done moving. What you're moving.
Meet us there. I'd love to have a drink with you all. I'm sure that I could beat you all in a drinking contest.
Kato, let's. Oh, this guy. I make a thumb at at Adriel to the guys. I'm like, his mouth sometimes runs away.
He thinks this pansy here thinks he's gonna beat Max and drinking 12 spirits.
It's okay, Kato.
Sure thing, Daisy. Sure thing.
You can drink with your eyes, but I mean, I think we all know how this one will end. So, come on, Kato. Let's head on.
I'll follow Walykos, and as we kind of walk away, I will kind of look to Walykos and kind of like be like, "Thanks, Walykos. I didn't want to have to drink right now."
You pass out drunk, we're gonna whore out your bum.
I'll look back and I'll like wave to them.
I just like thumbs up, like. Anyways, yeah, Vapor. What have you been doing this whole time? Like, you've been super quiet. Oh, you've been muted this whole time.
Oh yeah, I've been muted. But Vapor's just been watching this and just got this grin on his face of how stupid Adriel's been getting into.
So Vapor's just been following, is what I hear. Yeah.
Yeah, and has also been looking and kind of just trying to see what's going on around.
Okay.
See if anything unusual stands out. I'm pretty sure nothing does because he doesn't usually come to this part.
No, but I have an idea. Actually, if this if the drinking thing doesn't pan out, Esper, did I keep any of the samples, like of the powder, the grackle powder, or anything like that?
Nope, that all went to Condus.
Couldn't even spare like a pinch.
It was just residue. It wasn't
Yeah.
truly any of the powder left.
Yeah, but could I have some of that residue? I guess. Like, did that all have to get used up?
I'll give you a D20 of fate,
Give me a D20 of fate. I'll take it.
even or odd.
Even.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't specifically say we were taking any of it separately.
Odd. The dice falls.
That's fine. All right,
I think
well, that's fine.
it does make more sense that you didn't have it. It was just some residue in the vial.
Sure. Well, maybe Aygir will come back with something. Is all that I can hope for then.
I mean, he kept the files with him, yeah.
So, in any case, let's check out this drinking establishment.
Okay, the three of you go down the lane, and it's just building, hugged right up against building, and like several stories tall, stacked on top of each other. The majority of them are shop houses, and so you see people stringing out their laundry to dry from the upper windows, and there's everything going on. There's some stray animals and birds pecking at little crumbs and people milling about. The whole place smells like dung and sewers and fish, and it's got all those stinks and smoky bits, and you hear the clangs of somebody working from one of their open shop fronts, and some couples having an argument, and some babies crying, and some harlots like lean out from their window, and you look up, and they're calling down to you, all bosomy. Woo! You've passed us by. No, come back. And they're kind of like beckoning you all lasciviously. You don't take the bait, it seems. And then you take the second left, and there is this kind of cranny space in between two buildings that has stairs that are going down into some kind of under they refer to it as a spirit well. So it doesn't look like an actual well, but it does go down underground. And I mean, as soon as you put your feet onto the first few steps heading down, you already get a sense of what's down there. It's dim. It smells like sweat. It's just like years of body odor and spilt wine and ale, and the sound of dwarven voices speaking in the giant tongue. Now, I understand that Walykos and Adriel speak giant. Vapor, do you as well? Vapor.
He does not. Sorry.
Vapor does not. Okay.
I
Vapor,
don't think anyone
you
speaks.
I don't speak giant.
Yeah, I'm the only one who speaks giant.
Walykos, the one that speaks giant. Okay, so
Yeah.
Walykos, you make out, the bits and pieces of what people are saying. Adriel and Vapor, you just hear this cacophony of sound that just sounds like, grunting, guttural, consonant-heavy talking.
Yeah,
And so it's just this kind of loud place. It's really cramped. It's very, very cramped. It's like one small room, small tables. There's just two tables. They're like these like communal tables, and just everyone just hunches up on the table, and there's like the one table master, and he's
get us a table.
drinking and talking with people just like the others.
Well, is there an available table?
Well, it's really just these two, and they're real close together, and everyone is just like up, like leaning up against the tables. But you can
it's like
squeeze in if you want.
Are they long tables? Like everyone just kind of lines up?
Semi-long. They're not that big. It's really just a cramped, small room.
Trying to picture in my head how people are fitting in the room if it's that small. Yeah.
They're dwarves, and they're packed in there.
Yeah. I just once over the room, and maybe this.
Yeah, they look at you all like, what in the hells are you doing here?
Yeah, there's no. So just to be clear, the Merocrat guy, he was a elf, right?
Are you talking about Mark and Oxivi?
Yeah, Oxivi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, he would stand out. I feel like it's just it's too packed for all of us. I turn to to Adriel and I say, look, just ask the questions, get the information. We'll wait outside. Wait, actually, I might need to do it because I'm the only one that speaks giant.
Yeah, no, Adriel would have mentioned that to be like, well, because I don't speak this language.
Take Vapor, wait outside. If I'm not out in like 10 or 5 minutes, come in and get me. Because odds are it's...
Do you think it's going to look a little bit strange if we walked in and then two of us walk out?
I mean, it's so packed in here. How would we know that it was this crowded, So,
Adriel is like doesn't really want to leave Walykos alone in here just in case, and you never know. And like he just finds it strange that like they'd walk in here and then like immediately walk out as well. So Adriel will just say, you know what, I'll just find a seat over by the bar there. And
all right, good luck squeezing in.
All right. So yeah, let me give one more description to help get generic D&D tavern out of everybody's mind.
Yeah. No,
so
I get it.
It's like a 20-foot by 20-foot room. There are these two kind of mid-sized tables just like pushed together in the middle of the room. The tables are just a mess of cups and casks and just all kinds of stuff. And then there are no chairs. There are dwarves packed in here, and they're just leaning up with their like elbows on the table, and they're like drinking and talking to each other. It's dim light, it's dank, it smells like old body odor and like spilled liquor.
Yeah. But you don't care when you've been drinking.
It's just this stuffy, dank little hole that in the air is just this cacophony of dwarves speaking in the giant tongue.
Okay. I'd like to go find a spot. What did you just say?
It's like, who is this dipshit coming down the stairs here? It's not quite maybe dipshit isn't quite the right word. It's like
I get the intent,
it's like
though.
like dumbass, something like that.
I'll say in giant tongue back to him. I'll say, we're looking for drinks. We were told that this is the drinking establishment here, and if there's no room for all of us, we'll take the money.
Shit the bed! You speak the giant tongue.
Yeah. Of course.
He meant nothing by the insult. No, your face is beautiful.
You don't have to lie and butter me up, but we're looking for some drinks, but we're also we're looking for some friends who might have been here.
If you want something to drink, then allow me to help you.
Yeah.
I am Nimrod, son of Sappy.
Pleasure to meet you, Nimrod. I am Sok Law. Yeah. And this is my friend Kato, and this is Ropav.
Grouchy.
Yeah.
Okay, good to have you, Silky Road and Soap and
I mean,
Cat.
you know these aren't made up names because they sound so stupid. They must be real. Yeah.
If you want drink,
Yeah.
I will be happy to receive your coin.
I am happy to give. Can you possibly help us find our friends as well? And I will. I'll just look and see. Has someone left some coin on the table so I know what sort of are we paying coppers for this? I assume. Or are we
You don't see coin on the table, but it's not really something that I'm gonna need to nitpick people on
Okay.
with coinage. It's within
we'll
your
just say-
wealth abilities. Yeah.
I was gonna say, why don't we just pay at the end because we will pay. We're not gonna skip the bill.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
I'm
it's
also
it's
willing
not
to give him,
significant enough to start nickel and diamond off character sheets. So we'll just say it's
I'm willing
included
to give
in
him
your.
like a nice little tip if he's helpful.
So you speak to Nimrod, who apparently is the table master of this spirit well. Nimrod, son of Sappy. The place apparently they refer to as Sappy's Sink. And he's got a couple of these casks. They're both tapped already, like tapped into. And so he says,
If you're paying, make yourself at home. Have a pour.
I appreciate that. I will get
That one there's extra spicy.
I appreciate the warning. I will take a drink, but I'm not going to actually be drinking, if you know what I mean. I'll put it to my lips and mime drinking.
yeah.
But, I won't actually... Maybe, a little sip will go in, but not, chug, chug, chug.
Okay, so they've got the stout ale and some sort of wine, and then this strong wine stuff, which that's the extra spicy one that he pointed
I'll
to.
start with the stout ale, and I'd like to just talk to... wow, I forgot his name.
Nimrod? Nimrod, son of
Nimrod.
Sappy?
Yeah, Nimrod. For some reason, I forgot that name. So Nimrod, tell me, has any other elves like ourselves come down here? Do you get many elves in here?
Not many. Let's see. It's hard to remember the last time one came through here. I can't remember.
What about
Moons! Many moons ago.
many moons ago?
Oh, yes.
Esper, in my mind, can I track the date when what's his name was captured? Oxivi was captured. How long ago?
Yeah,
was
it was just 3 days ago.
3 days?
Yeah, something like
Perfect.
that. Yeah.
So there haven't been anyone in for over a week. Well, I don't know if this is the place we were looking for my friend.
Not an elf. No, at least not that I know of. Anyone seen elves around here recently?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw your mother. Hey, fuck you. Fuck you. Hey. I'll beat you to death with this ham bone here. You know I can do it.
I'll poke your eyes out with this here toothpick.
Don't pay attention to him. Don't pay attention to him. He's having a very heavy menstrual cycle right now.
Yeah, I'm sure his wife keeps him on a tight leash. But
Oh, the pork is here. Ah, yes. Right. No. Yeah, we ordered that right here. Right here.
Some dwarf comes in and puts this roasted
Giant.
hog, just kind of knocks cups out of the way and just sets this roasted hog in the middle of the table, and Nimrod
Walykos.
measures out his payments and some silvers, and then the meat delivery, whatever the
it's feeling like a dead end. But yeah. So you haven't had anyone in here for a week?
Let's just eat. Okay, I can't think so straight on an empty stomach.
All right, just a couple bites, and then yeah, I think we might have to go look for my friend elsewhere because he was supposed to, meet us here, and he said he was a regular, or he at least came 3 days ago. Was the
You've
last
got a
time.
weird way of talking. Just tell me what you want, okay?
I'm looking for my friend. He was here 3 days ago, and I just wanted to make sure this is the right place.
Who is your friend? An elf?
Yeah. Might have gone by the name Markin.
Elf Markin. I don't know anything about this.
What about? Hang on. There might have been some friends with him. Jib.
Ah! The brain's mine. Brain is mine. I'll come, brain.
He bursts open the hog. I say hog. It's actually an ogong. It's kind of like a pig, two-legged pig dinosaur type thing, boorish dinosaur thing. He cracks open the skull and starts like spooning out the brain.
Do the names Jib, Wormbait, or Klein mean anything to you?
Wormbait. I know Wormbait.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Well, why are you asking?
Oh, I might have some business.
The dwarven conversations, that kind of like quiet down a little bit, and you see a lot more of the heads are like watching you all.
Why are they paying attention? Like, what's going on?
It's not every day that we get elves coming down here and asking about information of individuals.
I'm willing to. Hey, what's it to you? I can pay you.
I need to know first, what outfit are you working with?
I'm working with the Merocrats. I'm a friend of Markin.
Markin. I don't know that name. Should I?
It's not important that you know who he is. What's important is that Wormbait knows who he is.
Wormbait knows Markin.
Tell me how to find Wormbait, and I will.
If I know.
And I will give you something, for your trouble.
Trouble? Has he caused you trouble?
I'm trying to find him. That's all that you need to worry about.
Yeah.
Are they both speaking in giant, by the way, at this moment?
We tend to not backstab one another around this place. If we've got something to say, we'll say it straight to each other's face.
He gestures to the guy that just recently insulted his mother.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to have to ask you to take your vague promise of payment and stick it up your ass.
Well, I could do that, but I'd rather give you the money if you could just point me to Wormbait, because, like you said, say things face to face. I got stuff to say to his face. Do you want to get in between? Like, it doesn't seem like that's your philosophy. Just let us,
I don't know you. You don't know me. Why don't you just get out of here?
Well, because you know something about Wormbait, and I'd be mighty obliged if you could just. I set like a silver piece down, and I slide it to him. I'm like, look, you just tell me what I want to know, and I'll leave.
He spits.
Mm-hmm.
You can take that silver piece. Go put it in your mother's cunt.
I grab his head and slam it down as hard as I can on the table.
The dwarves all kind of react to that. So
and I shout at them. I'm gonna try and intimidate them. Like, stay where you are in giant.
Also,
I want to just shock them.
When I see that happen, Adriel's gonna maybe help out a little bit with this.
Yeah.
Like, for the moment that happens, like he'd maybe take a bit of his drink, and then he'd pull out his his dagger as well, and kind of like just wave it around and like do like some.
We're trying to like. Yeah. This was a shock tactic. I banged his head, and then I shout at them to kind of like freeze them in their tracks. I'm willing to make the check on this, of course.
Does he maybe get
how well I do?
Like, I don't know.
But, like, I don't know what their personality is. Esper, you might be like, well, they're not going to be intimidated no matter what. I think it's worth a try,
Okay.
maybe.
And what about Vapor? So this is all happening really fast. Does Vapor have something that he's doing
Vapor's kind
at
of
this
got
immediate
a-
moment too?
Vapor got a
with his-
pint of whatever that is. He's leaning up against the wall, and as soon as he sees this, he drops the pint, puts his hands together, and lightning's now crackling between his fingers.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's good.
And if it
And,
helps as
and
well,
not only is it crackling, it's getting louder and
Yeah.
moving faster.
and
Okay.
if
He's
it
getting
helps-
ready to cast a spell.
Lightning is very fancy.
Yeah.
Like
and if
it's
and if it helps as well, like obviously I can't speak giant, but like in common, I'll just like say very
they
like
probably understand common.
very calmly, like not like very just
Well,
smoothly
elfish.
be and say you know, you best just go back to your drinks, everyone.
All right, so I've got a good idea of what all's happening. I want Walykos to make a charisma
Intimidation. Yeah.
check.
Do I have advantage from any of the things going on, or just a regular street?
For you, just a standard roll.
Understood. All right, I really need this. I need this luck because my
believe-
intimidate's not great.
I actually have good intimidation, but I
I
didn't
got
know
a
you were gonna-
17 total.
Okay.
Yes, that's
All
good.
right.
That's good.
Adriel.
That's with a -1, just to let everyone.
All right. So yeah, you slam
Yeah.
Nimrod's head against the table and
And
shout.
I do,
Yep.
I do a point at the person that's close to me. I'm like, stay in, don't move.
Yeah.
Stay out.
And then Adriel, like his dagger,
Yeah,
just
like,
flicks right into his fingers,
Yeah,
and he.
flourishing it.
Yeah, you flourish it with great expertise. Well, hopefully great expertise. Make your
Yeah.
intimidation check, Adriel.
I get one as well. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at this, so we'll see. All right, 17 as well. Like, wow,
17
Wally,
as
because
well.
you and I are just rolling exactly the same rolls.
Vapor, you decided to actually lean against the wall, so you're actually like a short pace back from the group of
You twirling
of
the
dwarves,
mustache I gave you?
and you have arcane lightning crackling in your hands, which that's a pretty rare and terrifying thing to a common
Yeah.
person. I'm going to give you advantage on an intimidation check.
And charisma is sort
Yeah, I was
of.
gonna say Vapor's already
this is
good at
particularly
charisma,
effective
so-
against.
Unfortunately, my rolls were not good.
Did you have inspiration or anything?
No.
No, I actually have the
Well, inspiration gives you the advantage. So
Just keep in mind for.
What'd you come up with for a total?
Unfortunately, my best is a 10.
okay, all right. So we got a 17, and a 10. So I'm gonna do.
I feel like I almost imagine that like the reason Vapor's intimidation is so good is because of the disguise I gave him. Like people are
It
just
just
like,
looks so
is this like a
stupid.
joke? Is this like a joke?
All right. So those that are of the concentrated group of dwarves around the table, and they're like immediately right next to Walykos and Adriel.
Yeah.
They kind of like back up. Some like
Yeah.
put their hands up defensively. Some are like kind of about ready to block themselves. Others kind of freeze. Two of them just that are closest to the exit, they just like run up those stairs and they run out. Or I guess
Totally.
since we're doing this in real measured time, they're like starting to run up the stairs,
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
up a few of the steps.
We're thematic. We're not doing
Yep.
initiative yet.
And
We'll-
and Vapor, I'm actually doing a roll here.
just for theme as well for
Okay,
flavor.
someone threw something like a, I don't know what the hell they threw like a like
leg
a
of
pot.
land.
Yeah.
Someone threw like a little pot at Vapor to like knock him out of his
I
like
will-
lightning thing,
Yeah.
but the throw
I'm
actually misses. So it
I
like
will do
shatters
something,
against
though.
the wall.
So as soon as that shatters, a storm bolt goes flying in the direction from where the pot, but up at the wall.
So
Above
you
all the
like
heads.
blast right by that guy's head, and he's like, "Ugh." I thought it was
Next one, anyone else?
He says this in giant, like talking about Vapor. He's like, I thought it was a trick. I thought it was a trick. So he's like trying to say he thought it was just like a parlor magician trick.
Illusion. Yeah, totally. So
I will.
All right.
Oh.
So you've got their attention quite a bit.
So here's the flavor thing that I wanted to describe. Walykos, to set this all off, grabbed the door by the hair and slammed his head into the table, but I held on to the hair
Yeah.
as I pulled him back up, and I've like got him either by the beard or like by the side of his head. I'm like, tried.
Let me go!
I tried asking nicely, but
Get the
my
fucking
patience-
buzz off of me, you fucking.
I'm like, I like yank his hair, and I'm like about to slam him down, and I'm like, don't test me.
Yeah, actually, yeah, the moment that he keeps talking and I see Walykos do that, I will actually pull my dagger and I'll like put it next to his throat and I'll say,
Not yet, Kato, not yet. Listen,
Leave it.
buddy.
I'm not backstabbing anyone.
Yeah.
We
you're
don't
not,
do it like that here.
But you're going to tell me what I want to know. Because, one, if you don't tell me, things are going to become very, very bad for you. Is it really worth protecting Worm?
Worm bait.
Also, while Walykos is saying this, and
One
he
of the
told
other
me,
dwarves, like,
no, not yet.
Don't get yourself killed, Nimrod. Just tell him what he wants to know, okay? You're not stabbing worm bait in the back.
Yeah, and as Walykos told Kato to like sort of not yet, like I will actually draw a little bit of blood on his neck, like cut just a little bit, just to
Which
show,
makes
kind
him-
of like indicating like I'm kind of like insane, like I don't want to. Like,
You're
I
the bad
wanna kill
cop.
Yeah, like I want to.
I'm a bad cop,
yeah.
but you're the badder cop.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I like draw a little blood on it. And I don't
You can't
say
control
anything, I
him,
just-
man.
Does that
Look,
make-
I'm trying to help
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Yeah, I don't
Does that make
I
Vapor
don't
the
say
good
anything.
cop in this
Yeah, I
entire
don't
co-
say anything, but I just
You're the
draw
magic
a
cop.
little bit of blood on his neck, like just slice a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, so what's his reaction, I guess, to the dwarf telling him, hey, just you're not backstabbing anyone, and to all that.
I can tell you the ship he works on. Only that.
That's all I'm asking. Tell me that.
Son of Cloud. He works aboard Son of Cloud.
I pull him in real close, so I'm like eye to eye. Like our noses could almost touch, but there's like a little bit between them. And I say, Nimrod, son of
Sappy.
Fappy.
Sappy.
I trust you are giving me the truth because you seem like a dwarf of your word. But if I find out that you're lying to me, I'll be back. And I won't ask as nicely the next time. Keep the tip. I let him go.
You leave the silver piece on the
Yep.
table. Keep the tip. So
Yeah.
he is trying to like regain his composure, and everyone,
man.
all the other dwarves are really on edge. They're like
I haven't
wide-eyed,
done a
watching
bad
you all.
guy. Sorry, I haven't done a bad guy in so long. It felt like cathartic to be like, oh,
was
this is
good.
like what Noxaqual would do.
You know,
Yeah.
honestly, like inside of Adriel's head, like he's actually a bit surprised that Walykos did this, like because like he hasn't seen Walykos do something. Like Walykos been changing a lot, so it was like very.
I bet you like this was like, Adriel's like, it's still Wally.
Yeah, exactly.
That's okay. He deserves a treat every now and then. Yeah, so let's leave. Honestly, I just turn and I walk out. I know that Vapor is going to have my back and zap anyone that
When
throws
we
anything.
when we leave,
Vapor
like,
is the last one to leave, and he's still got the lightning channel between his.
I just imagine like
hands.
Vapor like
Also, like as we leave, like once Walykos like like he kind of walks away, I'm actually gonna take the silver piece off the table back, and then I'm gonna leave. And I'm just gonna kind of like look him in the eye, and then.
Oh, you wanted him to
Look,
know
he
you're not
stole
just
the
gonna kinda talk. He took the tip. Well, I mean, I have no control over that. My back's turned, so it's
Oh
what it
my
is.
gosh. All
Well,
right.
Vapor saw that, so he'll pull out a silver coin, and
All right,
once
hang on, I need to actually.
Adriel's
write-
gone, and
I was way too into the scene. Did anyone write down the name of the ship?
I did not. I missed. Yeah. I was-
He said Sutter Cloud.
Sutter Cloud. Thank you, Esper.
So
I'm
you all
sorry.
leave the spirit well, and on your way, back to the docks, or maybe to that fume hovel where you're going to
Let's
meet
go to the fume
Aygir.
hovel. I feel like
You
that's
pass
the-
by that dwarven shipmaster that you were talking to initially,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
his crew, and
Yeah.
and he's like, he sees Adriel, and he's like, "Hey, what happened to drinking, huh? Come on, you ready?"
Oh, we have somewhere else that we have to go. We realize that we forgot about something. We'll meet you there.
Yeah, whatever. You all are
Whatever.
really, really weird, you know.
Hey. I toss him a silver piece. I'm like, have some drinks on us.
My thanks.
Yeah. Like I said, have some drinks on us. We'll see you there.
So
another
you go,
time.
you're walking, and they go the other way, and they start going down the stairs. And like the last thing you hear from I is like, "What the hell happened here?"
That's great.
It's so great.
All right, so you all meet back with Aygir.
Yeah. let's
You meet
regroup.
at this fume hovel called Wild Love. It's at the south end of Havensport, so it's not far from where you are currently. It's a larger, not big, but larger establishment compared to where you just were. And it's a little bit more typical of such an establishment of recreation. For Barnacle, there's clouds of various smokes that hang in the air. Zapatene is very popular, which is a sort of stimulant smoke. It's about the equivalent of having some like strong, what's the word I'm looking for here? Cappuccino, espresso, espresso, right? Has that sort of effect.
Like caffeine, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a mild stimulant. People like it a lot. It has a pleasant, like a pleasant, smooth smoke to it. There's a fume keeper, an elven, kind of middle-aged elven fellow named Athan Nettle. He himself is like always smoking. He like always has this like long pipe, kind of just like half cocked, hanging out of his mouth. He has a real lazy way about him. We don't need to nitty gritty role play out about that ship that you learned about. You can quickly confirm that this ship, Sutter Cloud, is indeed a real thing. It's currently out. It's not in port.
Okay.
You learned that it is currently on the way to Thanalis. Thanalis.
Is that the main one?
I am sure that Aygir and Vapor would know of this town because it's on the western side of Haven Isle. It's a coastal town on the western side. It's just south of the Steam Curtain.
Okay.
So Sutter Cloud it's on just a trade run to Thanalis.
Well, that's fantastic.
Thanalis. Sorry, starts with the TH. Thanalis.
No worries. When they get back, that might be someone that we want to pick up, but he's not an available information, source right now that we can grab.
Okay. Yeah. So all you know, there's a dwarven man who goes by Wormbait. You don't know if that's his real name or a nickname. He works aboard Sutter Cloud, this ship.
Dwarves knew him, yeah, and he's a dwarf.
Those dwarves knew of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I do have another plan, and I want to meet up with Aygir and in the fume hovel in a little alcove. We tell what we found. You tell us what you found out. I assume as well, Aygir. You're muted.
Yep, I'm aware. That's why I was unmuting myself. Yes, I'm gonna tell you everything I learned and be discreet about it. Yes, it's worse than we thought. Although we're supposed to explain some things.
No, this makes perfect sense. Don't you see? The arrows are the delivery method for that substance.
Well, yes, yeah. I get that part. It's just it's worse than crackle powder.
Oh, it's way worse than crackle powder. They're going to blow something up. They might blow up the palace. They might blow up, send a tower, colliding into wherever it is. They might just blow up places around the city with these, and send the entire, city crumbling. In any case, we kind of have a gist of what they're going to do. And you have those substances, you have the residue. I have an idea. What if we could use, obviously, finding the hideout's going to be pretty difficult just on our own. even with the guards looking, we're looking for something that we don't know where it is in a very slum area with people that aren't going to be cooperative. Like, I can intimidate only so many people and get so much information. Animals, though, animals don't care one way or the other. I might be able to convince some of them to help us with the scent, because those scents, the grackle powder, Esper, correct me if I'm wrong, has a distinctive scent to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, crackle powder.
Crackle powder.
Yeah, sure.
So what I suggest we take that residue, I show it to some rats, I tell them I'll get them a cheese wheel or something, and I'll give them a little bit up front, and we can send a bunch of rats. We can send some, I don't think birds have a great sense of smell, but like rats and other creatures that would not be out of place in the docks either. So it's not like, what are all these rats doing poking around our hideout?
Yeah. That makes a certain amount of sense.
So, do you have any ideas on how you could use your own skills to help locate a hidden base where we know they're storing crackle powder and, the substance? Same question to Vapor, same question to Adriel.
For
Well, I
the
think- I
locating
think-
place itself, not really.
Well, I think we should try and find out about the what was the? Oh man, I already forgot the ship name again. Hold on.
Sutter Cloud.
We did.
Sutter Cloud.
You must have missed it. Esper said that it's out of port. It's on a ship.
I missed that. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
That's okay.
Oh, my
You
bad.
probably were
Yeah.
looking at something.
No. Yeah. No. I
It's on
think.
a voyage right now. It's not going to be back for a while. At least a couple days. I don't know how long it takes to go around Haven Isle.
Yeah, I don't have. I mean, I kind of agree with you, Walykos. Well, sorry, I'm talking out of it. Yeah, Walykos, I think that we should try and find some kind of animal that could maybe sniff it out, because if they are planning on doing something, it's going to be perhaps already located somewhere in the city. Maybe they have a stockpile. Maybe there's a warehouse. Maybe there's a ship that is already pulling it in. Right?
We could get a dog as well. Dogs have excellent sense of smell, and they're also Esper, you correct me if I'm wrong,
Well, I'm
because
sure
this is
that
your
we
setting.
could,
This setting does not have dogs.
Dogs.
But there would
Yeah.
be something.
apologize.
akin
But
to
there
that,
are
right?
ogongs, and ogongs have good senses of smell.
Yeah.
Right.
I think they're
I was gonna say.
ogongs, though.
I'm
They're
sure
pretty
that-
big.
So they would, I'd say the typical one would be small or medium size.
Okay.
There's,
sure
kind
that-
of like how there's different breeds of pig, let's
Sorry,
say. Yeah.
I'm sure that we could either get our own Argong to do this, or we could talk to the gods and
Are they
borrow
domestic?
one.
I thought they were wild.
They're both.
Oh, so you can have a domestic in the city ogong.
Right. Well, we
Yep.
see them. We see them running around. They're
Oh,
like
shit.
just around here. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's
let's do an
it's a
ogong.
common animal in Haven Isle. Yeah.
Shit, let's get an
Seems like this,
ogong
yeah.
to help us out. I'll back that play.
Yeah, we could talk. We could either get our own, or we could talk to the gods. I mean, we do have some say in
Well,
this city.
we'd want it to seem like it's kind of not wild per se, but like a domestic animal that's just playing around and rooting around. If it can get us within a couple blocks, like if it can get us to the building that we're supposed to be at, we can take it from there.
Are Ogongs usually like? Are they as pets in this world?
Some people have them as pets. Yeah.
Okay, so we could actually just like
Yeah,
pretend
this
we're just
like the
walking
smaller
around,
breeds
yeah.
would be a pet.
So we could like get one and then pretend like we're just taking it for a walk or something,
Yeah.
and then yeah.
I think a good analogy probably is swine, because you've got everything from like wild boars and warthogs to like big plump ranch slaughterhouse hogs to like
Yeah.
little cute hogs that people keep as pets.
Okay.
So they're really like a hunched bipedal thing. They stand on these hind legs, and their forelegs are very
They're dinosaur-y.
diminished. Yeah, they have that kind of dinosaur look, but there's something porcine, like their snout is very porcine.
I'm a little uncomfortable with them personally for personal reasons.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I would be willing to forego that and let them let them help us.
Okay.
Let's
What
go
is the spell or the feature that you're using for this?
It's called it could be a combination of two. Primal awareness gives me speak with animals, which grants you the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate with beasts for the duration. The knowledge and awareness of many beasts is limited by their intelligence, but at a minimum, beasts can give you information about nearby locations and monsters, including whatever they have perceived or have perceived it within the past day. You might be able to persuade a beast to perform a small favor for you at GM's discretion. So I can do that, and I also have a beast sense, which would let me touch a willing beast, concentrate on it for up to an hour. For the duration of the spell, you can use your action to see through the beast's eyes and hear what it hears. Continue to do so until you use an action to return to your normal senses.
Okay.
And you also gain any of their special senses possessed by a creature, although you're blinded and deafened to your
Okay. It's similar to a familiar from the Find Familiar spell.
But it's specifically to animals.
Yeah.
Instead
Okay.
Instead of magical.
And you are looking for basically a street ogong, right?
Yeah,
like
I
something
wanna-
that's like rooting around in trash heaps and stuff.
Yeah, I think a rat would be good when we get closer, but an ogong can cover more area quicker than a rat can. And rats are they stick to areas. They don't go wandering for like blocks and blocks.
Yeah.
More likely than not. Ogong could wander city area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you locate we'll call it a street ogong.
Yeah,
It's
not,
it has that
totally
kind
wild.
of it has that scrawny look to it, something that's grown up in the rough streets,
Can I
has
have
never
some food
eaten well.
Yeah, can I have some food prepared, like purchased beforehand to feed it? Like if it does what I want.
Make
Just some,
there's probably a couple checks I'd like you to make.
Yeah.
Do an animal handling check
Guess what I'm trained in.
for your approach with the food.
Yeah, absolutely. That is 16 total.
Okay, so it takes some coaxing, but you're good at it, and you've brought the alluring food. So eventually the thing, kind of comes up and like tentatively
I set it down.
nips at it.
Yeah, I
then-
take like 5-foot step back to let it eat a little.
You interact with it. You have a positive kind of back and play feedback with it until it trusts you enough, and then you speak with it and you tell it find this smell, like you give it have a sniff on the vial.
Help me find. Like I'm trying to do basic communication rather than complicated word sentences. Help me find. Smell. This.
Smell.
And I let it smell the residue.
Okay, so you give it some whiffs of the vial, and you're trying to tell find this or track this down, and you've got some food to reinforce it.
Yeah.
Okay. We might just do a second animal handling. to
That makes
advance
sense.
to advance that. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, animal handling gets so little use. Like this is what it's for.
Yeah, it's not as common as like stealth or perception.
Yeah. But how often do we try to use animals? Like we should change our mindset. Maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
That being said, I did get a 25 total.
25. So it gets the understanding through your skill and through your ranger abilities, which are somewhat supernatural. You make it clear the intention. It seems to understand the intention, and so it's not like a trained bloodhound. But what it will do is you can kind of like prompt it or kind of hurt it in a way, like
I'm
get it
willing
to
to
go over
stay
here,
close.
and it will like sniff a thing, and then it'll like come back and like look at you. And then you're like, no, keep doing your thing, guy. And he'll like go and sniff some more, and he'll like look at you, and you know, it's not very good at what it does in terms of like it's not trained at it, but it's accomplishing what you're going after.
It's trying.
So it's seeking the scent though. Is the important thing.
It's seeking the scent, and you probably give it food a couple more times. I guess you
like
brought a
maybe
certain
after-
amount.
Yeah, I would have little treats as it were.
Okay. So you do this for a while, and I've just rolled a check for the thing.
Certainly.
You're at it for quite a while, and eventually it's not seeming to pick out this smell. There are a lot of smells where you're at, and it's kind of a bad smelling district. Some like particular spots and corners can actually be very rank.
So it's failed me, is what you're telling me.
You have failed.
Exactly. It's like, well, Agong's on the menu tonight, boys.
There's a lot of ground to cover, Walykos.
Of course. No. I totally.
There's a lot of ground to cover, and it's not. It doesn't seem to be picking out this whiff that you've
So-
given it from the vial.
Well, it had to move somehow.
Yeah,
and
it
I'm
might
just
be.
like,
It might be worth trying it again the next day.
I think it's worth trying it again.
It just
the next
eventually
day.
you just time wears down, and it's tired, and it can't hold its focus, and you guys are getting tired, and like the sun goes down.
That's fine. Yeah, guys, I don't think we're gonna find it today, unless you guys have a better idea. The animal thing is viable. We just have a lot of ground to cover.
It's going to take a while for us
Yep.
to get through.
And
this.
also remember,
I think-
Sources Flay and his guards.
His men are looking. we should
He
check in.
organized a squad, so I'm going to do a roll for them as well, and
Please let them get lucky.
they'll check back in with you all. So, I want to just do one quick little scene to wrap things up here, as we're basically out of time, and we'll remember that next session you guys will probably continue with your hunt because it's not needle in a haystack, so it seems like you have a good shot of finding it sooner or later. Back when you return like that night to the Rook Tower, when you enter, Adriel Ginteljar makes a comment to you, or I guess he makes it to both, Walykos and Adriel. You've had a bird flitting around the rookery window. Sounds like a message.
Thank you, Ginteljar. We'll
Yes,
tend
we'll
to that
check
right
on it.
away.
So this is normal. People send messages by way of Pebble Peck for all manner of reasons.
But it could
And,
be Corbin. Yeah.
It could be, yeah. You go, and indeed, it has a little note rolled onto its leg, which is addressed to Adriel, to Sir Adriel Mantevale.
Oh. All right. I will. I'll take it and I'll open it up.
Okay.
Take a look at it. Yeah.
It says, "Congratulations on your knighting, young master. You have been honored greatly by Duke Orman and Duchess Avon. Durable and masterful are the Mantevales. So this was very smart of the Duke. You are cordially invited to dinner in 3 days' time. I would very much like to introduce you to my daughter Aniva as well. She is a fine dame and winsome. With
Trying to
cheer,
marry me off.
Clance Honeybeak of Strongcastle."
They're trying to set up a wedding. Interesting.
I don't know if a wedding is the first thing that jumped to you. They want to make a political alliance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but
Yeah.
a marriage for the political yeah.
I mean,
okay.
that
So
comes
you-
later. They just
you-
promise
remind me
things.
who
Yeah.
these two people are again. They were what were their names?
It's signed by Clance Honeybeak of Strongcastle. So the big giant castle where a lot of the elves live, and there's different like tiers or levels to it, and some of the people that live there are well off. But there's like some lower level people that are not as well off. It's a pretty mixed area, and then it attaches to the long bridge that goes to Long Keep, which is where the Duke and his immediate forces are stationed.
And what were the two names again? Duke Orman, I think you said, or
Yeah, the Duke and the Duchess of Barnacle. Duke
that's
Orman
right.
and
Yeah,
Duchess
yeah,
Avon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knighted you, and that's what he was complimenting you on.
Yeah.
Yep. You maybe have heard the last name Honeybeak before. It's possible. They're not like one of the high noble houses, one of the main ones, but they'd be like a minor noble house. So
the daughter was it the Duke's daughter or was it the Honeybeak daughter?
Honeybeak
daughter.
Yeah, he says my daughter Aniva would like to.
They're trying to elevate their station.
I would like to introduce you to my daughter Aniva as well. She's a fine dame and winsome.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
There's one other detail that catches your eye, though, Adriel.
Okay.
Most people wouldn't even notice this, or it would be meaningless. But you see, there are these small markings, just like little lines on the edge of the page. And these lines, they actually wrap around to both sides. And they are indeed thieves' cant markings.
That's fantastic.
And these markings indicate to the reader to focus on the last 3 letters of line 2 and the first 3 letters of line 3. Let me go to our. I'm going to go to our. I'm gonna go to our Discord.
Another screen.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go to our Discord.
Yeah, because I don't remember the exact wording of the letters.
It matters though. All right.
Okay, there we go. That's I just put I put the letter, the text of the letter into our Discord. So that thieves' cant marking tells you focus on the last 3 letters of line 2 and the first 3 letters of line 3.
So last 3 of line 2 and first 3 of line 3. All right, so let's see. So last 3 of line 2. So last 3 letters, F or THE, so the, and first 3 of line.
Line 2, like sentence 2. Sentence 2.
Oh, sentence. Oh, I see it. Sentence.
Line is in sentence. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just look on the windows. So
last 3.
The last 3 letters of the second.
One that
sentence.
ends in Avon.
Vondor.
And the first 3 letters of the third
Vaughn.
sentence.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like, if I knew thieves' cant, that would confirm it for me. But
yeah.
So like, yeah.
Indeed,
Yeah,
it
so, yeah,
spells
it's
Vonder. And the wrapping effect with the markings extending to both sides, that tells you that there's like a hidden side to this message.
Yeah,
There's a second side to this message, and it's like probably important confidential matter, like just for you only.
Yeah, no, I was wondering I was wondering how he was going to contact me since Walykos was always with me, but Walykos doesn't know thieves' cant. So
Well, true, but I will say that after you both read this, because we would. Both
yeah, I would have shown it to you. Yeah, there's no
exactly.
reason
I mean,
wouldn't
it's
have,
not. You're not gonna be like, it's my
No,
message.
yeah, I
for
would have.
me.
Yeah, we reveal things to each other. Like that's a normal.
I'll say, man, you're not even like a knight for a week, and they're already trying to take down your portcullis, to get into your castle.
Yeah, no, I was not expecting a message like this. I'm not.
Well, what are you gonna
really-
do? 3 days, we got stuff. Like, is this really that important?
I kind of think to myself a bit, and I say, well, it could help us in the long game if we have a bit more alliances on our side.
Adriel,
I'm not much of I don't really want a wife or anything of that nature per se, but
you never were a
political-
ladies' man.
but
No,
a political marriage could strengthen our house.
she's a minor noble, though. What? You're gonna go there? They're gonna try to butter you up with wine and such, and try to get you to agree to something.
So
I think it's a
I do
waste.
need to
We need to stop.
wrap up.
Yeah.
Yes,
We'll do the role play.
Let's role play next time,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I
we'll-
do feel like there's a
Because there's
scene.
we can start with
Yeah,
that next time. So I thought that'd be a cool scene to end on.
No, it's good.
All right, everyone. Thank you much. Another great session. The plot continues to thicken.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Cool.
Thank you
And
for
thanks everyone to watching and following along. We will see you all in the next episode soon. Until then.